mnsalonbrookfield.com.
Loyalty, family. Few things are more important. This is WTMJ's Steve Scafidi, and Loyal Family Renovations, they saved the day after a brutal storm in Oak Creek. Hail damage, yeah, I had a lot of it. But Jeff, Jake, and the whole team, absolute pros, made the entire process smooth as can be. Let's be honest, not everyone knows how to deal with adjusters. They handled all the questions, quick answers, top-notch customer service. In just 2 days, my roof was done. If storm damage hits, call the team that made it easy for me. Loyal Family Renovations. Visit loyalfamilyrenovations.com.
Be our eyes on the road. See something out there that I should know about?
Hi, Debbie. I just thought I'd let you know eastbound 94 has what looks like a pretty bad accident.
Call me, Debbie Lazaga, on the WTMJ traffic tip line, 414-238-9329.
Hi, Deb. It's Mark. 894 West. It's a parking lot.
The drive affects you. Why not be part of it?
Westbound 94, just west of 27th Street, two-car crash.
Give me a call, 414-238-9329.
Two rivals, one stage. It all comes down to October.
Breaking ball, hit high, hit deep, left center. Bye-bye,
It's game 2 of the NLDS as the Brewers host the Cubs in Milwaukee.
3 for 3 for Jackson Chourio. It's 9-1.
Our Brewers Radio Network game day coverage starts tonight at 7:30. October runs through the home of the Brewers. News Radio 620, WTMJ, Milwaukee.
It's 12:01. I'm Greg Matzek. This is Wisconsin's Midday News for Monday, October 6th. Your top stories: suing to stop the National Guard troops.
I'm Jessica Tighe. Where flooding hit the hardest.
Increasing clouds, could see some rain this afternoon. Some isolated showers are in the forecast with a high of 76. Tonight, on and off rain, mostly cloudy and a low of 55. 74 and sunny in Milwaukee at 12:01. From the WTMJ Breaking Newsroom, the state of Illinois and city of Chicago are suing the Trump administration over their plans to deploy the National Guard. CBS's Chicago's Lauren Victory.
Attorney General Kwame Raoul and the city of Chicago are now suing President Trump to stop the National Guard from coming to Illinois. The AG is asking for a temporary restraining order. He calls this deployment unlawful, saying it'll cause additional unrest, mistrust of police, and harm to our economy.
A lawsuit filed earlier today comes as troops prepared to deploy in just hours after a federal judge blocked their deployment to Portland, Oregon.
The finger pointing and stalemate continues as the government shutdown reaches day 6. This shutdown is the 4th longest in the past 45 years. News Nation's Tom Dempsey.
In the Senate, we expect another round of voting to possibly end the government shutdown. This new round of voting comes after this past weekend produced really no meaningful negotiations, and now Democrats are accusing Republicans of refusing to talk with them. Now, today's expected votes in the Senate will mark the 5th attempt to end the government shutdown. Republicans want to keep spending levels where they are until mid-November, while Democrats want to see other provisions added, like an extension of the Affordable Care Act subsidies.
In order for the spending plan to pass, Senate Republicans still need at least 5 Democrats to cross the aisle and approve it.
New data shows over 2,000 homes throughout Milwaukee County sustained major damage or were destroyed by historic flooding in August.
Data from the Office of Emergency Management shows a significant number of those homes were on Milwaukee's north and west sides. Almost 4,000 homes were assessed by the county and other partner agencies after the August 9th and 10th flooding. FEMA has already approved over 3,500 applications and granted more than $26 million in financial aid across Milwaukee County. The deadline to apply for FEMA assistance is November 12th. Neil Doyle, WTMJ News.
A court ruling against the WIAA clears some international soccer players to compete again.
The WIAA's eligibility rules left the 4 students sidelined for weeks. Their coach and guardian says the system needs reform.
The more cases we have, the stronger the impact will become, and more schools will start probably joining hands about making sure the WIAA is more accountable to them than what they are right now.
Coach Oswald Buechua also says the WIAA should show more empathy.
For example, if a kid gets recruited, which is a violation, in a 16-year-old kid doesn't know any better. So, okay, then punish the coach or the school itself, but don't punish the kid himself. To me, that's not fair. You're not really helping the kid.
Nazir Spencer, WTMJ News.
And the Brewers are up 1-0 in the NLDS after taking down the Cubs over the weekend. Game 2 tonight. No homers for the Brewers despite scoring 9 runs. Host of WTMJ's Brewers Extra Innings, Dom Cotroneo, says that's nothing new.
The Brewers out-homered the Mets in the 3-game wild card series last year. That didn't work out for them either. There's no one way to do it. Brewers are at the forefront of this, conflict within baseball. can a team like the Brewers, who do not rely on power, actually win a pennant? Because the last 10 years or so in this data-driven world say you can't.
All sorts of Brewers coverage and storylines leading up to 8:08, first pitch for tonight's game from American Family Field. Time for news about your money. The WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Some mixed results here this afternoon. The Dow is currently off about 110 points at 46,648. NASDAQ up 161 points at 22,942. S&P 500 is up about 25 at 6741. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Financial planning at every level. For details, visit annexwealth.com.
I'm about to bust out my rally towel. Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 12:05.
News sponsored by Ellie Mental Health. Visit elliementalhealth.com.
The Mental Health Minute.
Have you recently been told the wait time to see a therapist is 6 to 9 months? Well, we think that's ridiculous, which is why you won't hear that from our team. I'm Dawn from Ellie Mental Health in Waukesha. At our clinic, there's no wait list. Large hospital systems often leave patients stuck in limbo for months, but we get you connected with a qualified therapist quickly because your mental health shouldn't be on hold. Unlike online platforms that match you with whoever is available, limiting you to chats or short video calls, Ellie Mental Health offers personalized face-to-face care with licensed therapists who build genuine relationships. Our therapists take time to understand your goals, your challenges, and what actually works for you. You deserve real therapy without the wait and compromises. We're here for you at Ellie Mental Health. Let us help you find a therapist you can vibe with and take the first step on your path to improved mental health.
This has been the Mental Health Minute. Get started on your mental health journey today at elliementalhealth.com.
Half a century of marketing expertise joined with over 20 years of local market knowledge. Not to mention the savings you'll see after you get our best commission right up front, which, by the way, is only 1.9% on the listing side of your home. Join that together and you can be sure that you've chosen the right real estate experts who have the experience to market your home effectively and give you a commission that'll end up paying for things like new furniture. This is Angela Calais with Century 21 Benefit Realty, benefit-realty.com, where you pay less for full service. Each office is independently owned and operated. They saved over $50,000 after we sold their home at only 1.9%. You don't have to pay 6% to market and sell your home. Hundreds of Century 21 Benefit Realty clients will attest. You can get it all for only 1.9%. The more value your home has, the more important it is to find the best real estate commission and the marketing ability to get top dollar. And with Century 21 behind us, that's what we have. This is Angela Calais with Century 21 Benefit Realty, benefit-realty.com, where you pay less for full service. Each office is independently owned and operated.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports desk. Lefty Aaron Ashby will take the mound after pitching 1 1/3 scoreless innings in Saturday's win. Ashby starting tonight for the Brewers in Game 2 of the NLDS against the Cubs. For him, it doesn't matter when he enters the game. The goal remains the same.
Whether that's in the first inning or the 4th, 5th, 7th, whenever it is, I think they've made it clear that your job's just to get outs. I feel like I have a good routine to get me ready.
Outfielder Jackson Churio questionable for tonight's game with a hamstring strain. Coverage gets underway at 7 o'clock here on WTMJ. And the Bucks begin the preseason tonight in Miami against the Heat. You can hear that game on 94.5 ESPN at 6:30. NFL Week 5 comes to a close tonight in Jacksonville with the Jaguars taking on the Kansas City Chiefs.
Checking out the roads right now with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic. I wish I had better news, but we're starting off midday right now with 2 crashes I need to let you know about. The first one is over near Mayfair, 4145 North at the ramp from North Avenue. We've got 2 right lanes that are blocked because of that crash, and traffic is definitely backed up. Once again, this isn't a bad spot because it's a busy spot, number 1. Number 2, it's our construction zone. So we're dealing with that one, 4145 North at the ramp from North Avenue. 2 right lanes blocked due to a crash. Also, as we get closer to the Whitefish Bay area over here in Milwaukee County, I-43 South near Silver Spring Drive. The right shoulder is blocked due to another crash. We've got a couple of cars out there. The backup in that case, not too bad, though.
Increasing clouds today, a chance of some afternoon or evening showers and a high of 76 degrees. On and off rain tonight at a low of 55. Just a slight chance of morning rain on Tuesday, then sunshine and a high of 66. Sunny and cooler on Wednesday with a high of 60. 62 the high on Thursday, 66 on Friday. Quite a cool down from a week ago. It's currently 74, mostly sunny in Milwaukee at 12:09.
Live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios in downtown Milwaukee, It's Wisconsin's Midday News, making stories come to life. Now, here are your hosts, Greg Matzek and Jessica Tighe.
Oh, you weren't kidding. You got your rally towel there.
Oh, I was not kidding. Here we go. The Magic Brew.
There you go.
I'm feeling another W tonight.
So doesn't that look amazing? So the view of the baseball playoffs, right? Any sort of camera shot, if you're at the game, you can see it. Rally towels are a thing. They're never a thing during the course of the regular season.
Oh, they're
Always
just
a
fun.
thing in the playoffs. Right, but the imagery of the rally towel, and this one is that yellow, that golden yellow Magic Brew with the ball and glove logo on it, which is great. It looks amazing when before the game begins, those things are spinning around in the air.
Oh my gosh, Magic Brew. It's crisp, it's classic. There's not a lot to it. It's just smart, it's good. And then when you have Charlie Barron's out there too, he's like, this is my city. Getting everybody up and rallied up. Yeah, that's fun.
Pretty amazing day at the ballpark on Saturday. Hoping for another one here tonight. We've got about 8 hours to go until first pitch between the Brewers and Cubs. Lots of Brewers discussion here on the program today. The big stories that we're following.
It's now at noon on Wisconsin's Midday News.
It is showtime in prime time. The Milwaukee Brewers take on the Chicago Cubs tonight in Game 2 of the National League Division Series. Milwaukee leads the series 1-0 after Saturday's win at home. First pitch tonight, 8:08. Woo! That's a late one. We're going to have tired Brewers fans tomorrow. So much fun, though. Aaron Ashby is tonight's starting pitcher. We talked with Brewers President of Business Operations Rick Schlesinger about the goals for this electric team.
We've had the fortune of being in the postseason 7 of the last 8 years, and obviously in 2018 we got to one game of the World Series, so that's our high water mark that we obviously want to pass.
Ooh, but let's pass that mark, too, and go all the way this year. Heads up, by the way, for those of you going to the ballpark tonight. It could be a roof-closed game with chances of rain in the forecast.
Yeah, we'll talk to Lauren Larson coming up at about 1:35. Tailgate plans, will the roof be closed tonight? Most likely it would be a closed opportunity anyway. Baseball controls that. Not to the surprise of many Cubs fans who were irritated with how the shadows were covering the Brewers dugout, but the sun was shining brightly into the Cubs dugout. Well, baseball controls that. The Brewers don't control that. But go ahead. Keep making excuses. Number 2, the New York Post is reporting that former Jets quarterback Mark Sanchez is out of the hospital and in jail after a drunken fight with a truck driver in Indianapolis over the weekend.
Police say Sanchez approached a 69-year-old truck driver in the loading dock of a downtown Indianapolis hotel. The driver told police Sanchez smelled of alcohol and his speech was slurred. Court records say Sanchez climbed into the truck and prevented the driver from calling for help before there was a fight, and Sanchez shoved the driver. Sanchez ended up pepper sprayed and stabbed multiple times after the driver told police he thought to himself, this guy's trying to kill me.
And now Sanchez is in jail. He was in town to call Sunday's NFL game between the Raiders and Colts. He works for CBS, right? He's out there to do his job. Well, the game happened, but Sanchez was not at it. He was recovering in a hospital. Marion County Prosecutor Ryan Mears announcing just moments ago an upgraded charge, saying Sanchez now faces a level 5 felony charge of battery involving serious bodily injury, punishment from 1 to 6 years in prison. Got a number of misdemeanors on the table as well, including public intoxication and unlawful entry of a motor vehicle.
The U.S. Supreme Court started its new session today. The new term could be a test to see if the justices decide to limit President Trump's presidential power. Cases about tariffs and the firing of federal employees are on the docket. ABC's Devin Dwyer says cases regarding LGBTQ issues will also be heard.
With the nation sharply divided, the justices will again wade into the culture wars, deciding this term whether states can ban transgender athletes from school sports and whether state bans on so-called conversion therapy for LGBTQ teens violates a counselor's free speech.
Legal experts say the justices to watch in many of these big cases are Justice Amy Coney Barrett and Chief Justice John Roberts. They're two conservatives, but two who are more inclined to find a moderate middle ground.
Now at noon, sponsored by Flanders Home Entertainment. Check them out online at Flanders.com. It's sound advice at the best price. Just press play. Coming up next, a Manpower report on hiring trends, the business of baseball, and what the latest round of weather can do for our economy. We'll go through it with Tim Sheehy of the MMAC after this. Hey, it's WTMJ's Greg Matzek here for Flanner's Home Entertainment. Does the audio and video system in your home need an upgrade? Well, Flanner's has all the solutions and the installation experts to simplify and upgrade your home entertainment experience. Forget about the impersonable big box stores and risky online purchases. You go with locally owned Flanner's, where quality service, the best brands, and guaranteed best price remain top priorities. Stop by Flanner's in West Dallas, Grafton, or at Flanners.com. Sound advice at the best price. Just press play.
Visit family-owned Ken Michaels Furniture and our in-store design centers where you'll still find beautiful, luxurious, heirloom quality American-made furniture. Right now, save 30 to 35% store-wide and take advantage of our complimentary design services. Whether you're moving, renovating, or updating, our designers will help your vision become a reality. Visit Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield on Capitol Drive and in Greenfield on Highway 100 to save 30 to 35% store-wide today. Sleep better and save more with mattresses from Milwaukee Mattress and Ken Michaels Furniture. Handcrafted in our Milwaukee factory, our mattresses utilize natural materials like cotton cushioning, which dissipates body heat, Joma wool quilts for warm wintry nights and cool summer evenings, and natural latex providing superior conformability and pressure relief for aching joints. Stop in today at any Ken Michaels Furniture store and save up to 50% compared to national brands.
So, Alex, why don't you tell us about Lion's Tail?
We've been brewing for 10 years, and now we're busy expanding into Milwaukee, trying to get on every shelf of every store and on tap at every restaurant.
How has Horicon Bank been a part of your story?
Horicon Bank understands the needs of small businesses versus working with a big bank. Horicon, they're much like a small business, just like we are. I know most of the people on that team. It's nice working with someone that understands your business.
We're keeping our eye on the radar a little bit today. A good chance of some showers later on this afternoon or evening. We'll find out the exact timing here. Lauren Larson will join us with an update about 1:35. Cooler temperatures the entire week, as a matter of fact. Some morning rain possible tomorrow, then a high of 66 degrees. We're in the low to mid-60s the rest of the week. Sun should return somewhere Tuesday afternoon and take us through at least Thursday, but cooler temperatures in the forecast here. 74, nice day in Milwaukee currently, and mostly sunny. Our weekly economic spotlight is sponsored by Horicon Bank, truly the natural choice, doing banking differently in Wisconsin since 1896. Check out horiconbank.com. Our weekly check-in with MMAC Senior Advisor, it's Tim Sheehy. Hi, Tim.
How you doing, Greg? Hi, Jessica.
Doing great here. Now, we'll talk a little bit of weather and the economics of baseball and what this latest round of weather could mean for the economy here in a second. Wanted to start with this Manpower report on hiring trends, Tim. This is a recent publication from Manpower Group. What does it say about the state of the job market here?
Yeah, it's a good question, and Manpower does this periodically. It's a really good dipstick into where the global economy is going because they interview, I think, about 40,000 employers across 42 countries. And this latest report showed that 45% of employers plan to keep their workforce levels stable through the end of 2025. About 40% indicate intentions to increase staff, which is good, and 15% see potential job cuts. So kind of the bottom line here, I think, is employers look ahead. They see a bit of instability in the economy, everything that's going on across the world politically and economically, but they also see kind of the implementation of AI. And so what I think it says is employers are looking to hold on to the workforce they have, upskill it, and make sure that they're well positioned to compete going forward.
As you talk about employers continuing to face talent challenges and try to keep the good people they have, what are some of those retention strategies that are gaining prominence?
Well, you would normally go to pay and benefits, which is certainly a part of it. But I think today more than ever, both employers and employees are focused on one thing, and that's how do I forward skill myself? How do I upskill to make sure that I can stay of value as artificial intelligence and other tools come in to change the workflow process in business, whether that's a manufacturer or a service company. So I think done well, both are focused on the same thing. How can we have a better, more productive employee? And if I stay here for the work at this employer, how will my skills progress? Those are kind of the match that both are looking for.
Hey, Tim, is there anything that indicates how flexibility factors into the equation? Right, you've got a lot of dual income families where you both adults or parents work, and it's 9 to 5. Maybe it's more like 8 to 6, but the ability to work from home on occasion, maybe a Monday or Friday, things along that line. How important is that with anybody really entering the job market or in the job market?
Yeah, a great question and a really prescient observation, because while I think as you move into the fall here, you're going to see more employers wanting their workforce back in the office, and you hear that especially from a lot of larger companies, I still think your point on flexibility stays, that employers will want people in the office more. Maybe it's 3 days a week now, but they're also willing to provide some flexibility, especially for people that they view are value to the company. And as you pointed out, a lot more dual income families. So I think that's going to be a staple of what the workforce looks like for years to come.
Tim, we also wanted to check in with you now that we're entering day 6 of the government shutdown, as far as your thoughts on the economic impact to Wisconsin from the shutdown. And as I was just thinking about this, I went to the White House's webpage. And again, this is from the White House, but it's interesting. They have a map. I haven't clicked on this incomplete yet, but they've got a map. You can click on your state and see how the White House feels your state will be impacted.
Yeah, and I'm certain that's kind of one part of the viewpoint here. But from what I know about Wisconsin, we rank 46th or 47th out of the 50 states in terms of federal spending. So we have a low amount of direct federal spending in terms of military bases or other federal installations. And the contracting that companies do with the federal government is fairly low compared to other states around here. So from that perspective, not a huge impact, at least in the first couple days or so. I think what's more concerning as this goes on are the federal employees themselves, with the exception of Congress. They, in essential positions, have to continue to work, but they don't get paid. Now they'll get back pay, but that doesn't help a lot of people on a weekly or monthly budget. And I guess to that point, I think my 2 boys, 2 of whom serve in the U.S. Army, and they won't collect their regular paycheck. They'll get paid in arrears, but they're not exactly corporate executives. So I feel for them.
So, Tim, it is interesting. We've got about 18,000 federal workers here in the state. Do you have any breakdown or any numbers that suggest how many are deemed essential?
I don't, but I could think of, for example, General Mitchell Field and the TSA folks that are working. They're deemed essential. Maybe some of the FBI offices are deemed essential here. We don't have any national parks in Wisconsin. They wouldn't be deemed essential. So I think that it's a smattering, but would most affect, from my perspective, probably Milwaukee.
Tim, what a weekend. So many people are just kind of taking Monday to have a little breather because Mother Nature has been so nice to us. I think about just what I did and how I changed my plans this weekend because it was going to be so great. My husband and I, we took a Duffy boat on Friday night. We went to the Brewers game yesterday, and then we went down to Oktoberfest, which is now expanded from downtown to the Summerfest grounds. Everybody was out just loving this. And I've got to think about the impact Mother Nature is having on the economy. Duffy Boat, as an example, we were asking the guy, how much longer do you think it's going to be open? And he said, well, with this weather, it's just been gangbusters.
No, it's a great question and a great observation. And I'm sorry to miss you. I caught you last year at Oktoberfest.
Oh, that's right.
But I went Saturday this year, and you're right. It was a very, very nice crowd down on the newly relocated location for it on the Summerfest grounds. But I had the same observation. All the places that have boats for rent, those boats are still in the water. A lot of people out enjoying it. And then, we have the added spice of a home brewer game in the playoffs. So just observationally, I think that this unusual stretch of weather into October has really been beneficial to the economy and people spending.
TMJ.
Well, not here.
Will be pretty low winter.
Lose.
Jay, yeah, the Saturday game, you're going to get a good turnout for that, right? 40,000 plus people coming out from Chicago.
Yeah.
People just sort of, you worked it into your day. Maybe you went out afterwards a little bit. Maybe you went to the casino beforehand. Who knows? That is like a normal Saturday. People out and about, especially when it's 80 degrees. Monday night is not the biggest out night, I wouldn't imagine, in the city of Milwaukee, but I can only imagine that it's going to be quite a robust scene in and around downtown, neighborhood bars and locations, in and around the ballpark, and it should be here. You're going to have 40,000 plus, again, watching the game tonight.
What a blast. I was going to note, too, we kind of lost Tim at the end there, but this is a big week for the MMAC because they've got their all-member meeting coming up on Thursday. So we'll check in with him next week and see what came of that meeting.
Also, what's a Duffy boat?
Oh, it's a local company. Duffy boats, you take them out. It's just a blessing. Honestly, to go down the river and then to see the Hone Bridge all lit up and to realize that it was October 3rd on Friday, and just feel the warmth, that was something special.
So it's not a type of boat. It's the name of the boat company that rents the boat.
Yeah, I bet now you're going to go out at some point down the lake on the river and you'll be like, there it is.
Yeah,
That's what
absolutely.
she was talking about, the Duffy boats.
I'll borrow your captain's hat. It's 12:26. News coming up next.
No matter how many people are in your family, buying new jackets for the cold weather months can be expensive. But when you shop St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores, prices on cold weather jackets will give you a sigh of relief because thrift store prices mean great deals. And right now we have a great selection. Find great deals on cold weather jackets for the family at St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield, 23rd in Lincoln, and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee.
Ooh, you're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
Hey, if you got a crummy bathroom, listen up. WTMJ and Sidex are back with the Bootiful Bathroom Contest. That's right, boo-tiful, as in creepy, scary. One lucky listener will win a tub or shower conversion, courtesy of Sidex, valued at up to $10,000. Pretty easy to do here. Snap a picture of your scary shower, your terrifying tub, your situation, even if it's just something you're tired of. And you can enter. Text the word boo to the WTMJ Talk and Text line. That's boo to 855-616-1620. You can also check out WTMJ.com, submit your picture that way, and check out the full contest rules. Good luck to you.
If you want thick, healthy, gorgeous hair, then you need Hair Volume from New Nordic. Available online at Amazon and NewNordicUSA.com or in the hair care aisle at your local CVS.
There's still time to save big on your landscaping project at Menards. Create stunning patios and strong retaining walls with our huge in-stock selection of concrete blocks ready to take home today. Plus, get pre-estimates fast with our easy-to-use design and buy program in-store or on Menards.com. Don't miss out. Check out our weekly flyer and start saving on landscape blocks now at Menards.
Save big money at Menards.
And now, about your house. Eric Brown is the president of Siding Unlimited, your contractor for new windows, roofing, siding, decks, and a whole lot more. He knows about your house. So what do you know, Eric?
Recently, Siding Unlimited installed new windows in a home, and the homeowner loved the experience. Linda W. said, I was extremely satisfied with the service that was provided by Siding Unlimited. I had a new roof and new windows installed in my house. Linda loved that she chose the right company for peace of mind. She also loved the colors. Larry, another Siding Unlimited customer, was thrilled with the experience. Larry's home looks brand new. Go to our Siding Unlimited Instagram page and see our pinned message to listen to Larry's testimonial, but also see his house. Again, Siding Unlimited, knocking it out of the park. Looking for new windows, siding, roofing, and doors? Visit the 5-time Pella Platinum Premier National Window Contractor of the Year winner at sidingunlimited.com. Definitely listen to Larry on Instagram at Siding Unlimited LLC.
Eric and his crews at Siding Unlimited are your go-to contractor here for roofing and also replacement windows, decks, and of course siding. They've done it all at the Matzek households over the years. It started with windows, transforming our 1953 Milwaukee home into something beautiful. And then, on our new house, brand new LP Smart Side siding. Built 8 years ago, our house still looks brand new. Make sure to connect with Eric about patio projects as well. They've expanded our outdoor living space to an area fit with a beautiful cedar pergola, paver patio, gas fire pit, and more. The best in lighting? I can control it from my phone. All there at Siding Unlimited. Truly siding and a whole lot more. Take the next step and check them out at sidingunlimited.com. Siding Unlimited, truly siding and a whole lot more.
Are you worried about running out of money in retirement? Wondering about how to pay less taxes? Join me, Tony Drake, for the Retirement Ready Show live every Saturday at noon and Sunday at 7 a.m. on WTMJ 620 or 103.3 FM. We'll talk about smart strategies to help you retire with confidence. Don't miss it.
Drake & Associates LLC is an independent investment advisory firm that offers a variety of different investment vehicles. This commercial is provided for informational purposes only and should not be construed as individual investment advice. Drake & Associates LLC does not provide legal or tax advice. Past performance is not indicative of future performance.
ABC News, I'm Brian Clark. The Senate is back in session this afternoon, and could the government shutdown come to an end on its sixth day? House Speaker Mike Johnson said,
"We passed our bill. We did the job to keep the government open, and now it's on the Senate Democrats."
But Senate Democrats are unlikely to approve this afternoon's vote because the measure does not include their demands to reverse Medicaid cuts and extend expiring Obamacare subsidies. The governor of Illinois, the mayor of Chicago have sued the Trump administration over its planned deployment of federal troops to the city. A Trump-appointed judge in Oregon blocked the White House from sending any National Guard troops to Portland, Oregon. Indirect talks have begun in Egypt, focused on a deal to end the fighting between Israel and Hamas on the eve of the anniversary of the Hamas attack on Israel. It's the first day of the new Supreme Court term. The justices declined to hear an appeal from Ghislaine Maxwell, who wants to have her sex trafficking conviction thrown out. This is ABC News.
Outdoor Living Unlimited. WTMJ News Time is 12:31. From the WTMJ Breaking Newsroom, the DoorDash driver charged with murdering a man from Canada gets more time before his preliminary hearing. 35-year-old Luis Cruz Burgos is in custody on a $2 million bond for first-degree reckless homicide. He's accused of shooting and killing 32-year-old Giovanni Mike Robinson in Sheboygan Falls. Investigators say Robinson was walking home from a bar with friends and tried to offer Cruz Burgos money to give them a ride. Cruz Burgos allegedly later shot him from his moving vehicle. The court says it needs more time to assign Cruz Burgos a public defender.
Decision, Wisconsin. More than a year to go before the election, but the first gubernatorial poll is out.
The Badger Battleground poll shows strong support for one recently declared candidate and for another who hasn't even entered the race. On the Republican side, 30% support U.S. Representative Tom Tiffany. On the Democrat side, 16% support former Lieutenant Governor Mandela Barnes, who is considering a run, with other support split among the 7 declared Democrat candidates. But it's early in the race, and the greatest percent for both parties say they're undecided. Jessica Gatso, WTMJ News.
One of the nation's largest health insurers is cutting ties with a major Wisconsin hospital network, leaving thousands of patients unsure where they can go for care. Milwaukee Business Journal editor-in-chief Timothy Gibbons tells WTMJ.
This could be a really tough time for Ascension. Obviously, though, it can also be a tough time for United because they have a lot of people who they want to go to Ascension hospitals. And I assume that they're getting phone calls as well of, come on, you need to get to a resolution.
Ascension Wisconsin and United Healthcare say they are still negotiating, but for now, United Healthcare members will have to look elsewhere for care.
Go beyond the basics for Cybersecurity Awareness Month.
Delete sensitive data, avoid sending sensitive data in emails, texts, or direct messages, and be careful with other physical storage devices like a USB thumb drive. They're very convenient to share files, but they can also spread viruses and malware if you just pick it up off the ground and wonder what's on it and pop that thing into the computer.
That's Michelle Reinen from the Wisconsin Department of Agriculture, Trade, and Consumer Protection. Another reminder, use strong passwords and create a different password for each account.
A sporting goods store clears its final hurdle for taking over the former Boston store at Mayfair Mall. Wauwatosa's Design Review Board signing off on exterior renovations for Scheels. The retailer looking to open up in spring of 27 is part of a redevelopment plan that includes apartments and additional retail space at the mall. It's to be the first Scheels in southeast Wisconsin and the third in the state of Wisconsin.
The Milwaukee Brewers go for 2 playoff wins in a row tonight. Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time is 12:34.
Oh, boy, it's getting so expensive to dine out, but not at the Mind Chef restaurant in Hartford. WTMJ's John Mercure here. The Mind Chef is family-owned, understands inflation hurts. Every Monday when you buy one pizza, you get a second pizza absolutely free, any size, Any quantity, you buy one, get one free. Buy two, get two free. Buy 10 pizzas, get 10 free pizzas. Business owners, managers, bring in pizza for your hardworking employees and your key clients. They're going to love it because it's delicious pizza, and your second pizza's free, saving your company a ton of money. Bring your family in today for free pizza. Your kids will love that world-class game room, the Mine Shaft in beautiful downtown Hartford and near EAA in Oshkosh, just off the interstate. Lots of seating, lots of close parking, no need to cook. Don't think about cleaning today. Mondays can be tough enough. Buy one pizza, get one free at the Mine Shaft. Plenty to take home for tomorrow. Desserts, and I love their desserts, are also buy one, get one free. Just walk in today for your free Monday pizza, mineshaft.restaurant.com.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
Does our Inspired Closets team make dreams come true?
Every day, Dan. From consultation to design to installation, the whole process is built around our clients.
Which is how we earn our 5-star reviews. It's our team that makes the difference.
Inspired Closets is more than just organization. It's an investment in you.
Get started today at inspiredclosets.com.
Inspired Closets Milwaukee, a wife and husband team.
Vince Vitrano here for Connect Chiropractic. Get your aches and pains under control and bring back your energy. Whether it's headaches, neck pain, back pain, shoulder pain, time and repetition is key to staying on the right track. I've been seeing Dr. Alex and his team for 2 years now. No twisting, no cracking, no popping. Connect Chiropractic uses a special tool that is targeted and effective, yet pain-free and gentle. In Delafield and Wauwatosa, and the new location on Rawson Avenue in Oak Creek. Get started at GoConnectChiro.com.
Time for WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports Desk. A reliever will start Game 2 of the Brewers series with the Cubs. Game 2 of the NLDS later tonight. It's going to be lefty Aaron Ashby, who threw an inning and a third scoreless in Saturday's win. For Ashby, it doesn't matter when he enters the game. The goal is the same.
Whether that's in the first inning or the fourth, fifth, seventh, whenever it is, I think they've made it clear that your job's just to get outs. I feel like I have a good routine to get me ready.
Outfielder Jackson Churio questionable for tonight's game with a hamstring strain. More on the Brewers with Jeff Levering, Brewers broadcaster, coming up in just a couple of minutes. Coverage of tonight's game begins at 7 o'clock. Meanwhile, the Bucks begin the preseason tonight in Miami against the Heat. You can hear that game on 94.5 ESPN at 6:30.
Let's get you an update on the roads right now with your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. One of our crashes has cleared, but we are still dealing with this one in Milwaukee County. On I-43 South, it's very close to the ramp from Silver Spring Drive. The right shoulder is blocked because of this crash. And as I'm taking a peek at the cameras for you, it actually looks very similar to what it did last time. There's 3 cars out there. I am surprised that I don't see emergency responders out there yet. They're a little bit quicker out there typically. But right now, seeing 3 cars off to the side of the road. I-43 South near Silver Spring Drive. Right shoulder is blocked due to that crash. 3 cars involved.
Keeping our eye on the skies here today. It could impact your tailgating plans or maybe getting out of the stadium tonight. There's a chance of rain, some showers this evening scattered. We'll get a better sense of timing coming up in about an hour. Overnight low 57. Our highs during the course of the week here are going to be in the 60s, low to mid 60s, with a chance of some morning rain on Tuesday. Mostly sunny, 74 in Milwaukee at 12:38. A little less than 8 hours until first pitch from American Family Field. Brewers and Cubs, Game 2 of the NLDS. I was kind of chuckling over the weekend. The Cubs were taking batting practice on Saturday leading up to the game. And yeah, they had Phil Collins, One More Night playing in the background.
Slow it down.
A really nice jam if you're shopping at Hobby Lobby or maybe in an elevator.
Getting ready to go to bed, yeah.
Not exactly pump-up music, so a very deft touch here, right? The home field advantage. And, of course, a slow jam, karaoke jam for Brewers broadcaster Jeff Levering, who joins us on the line right now. Jeff, when was the last time you performed this?
It's been a long time since I've performed anything, Greg, but not a long time since I've listened to Phil Collins. It's on repeat, pretty much. I love Phil Collins. Big fan.
I love the little touches like that, right? I mean, I remember when the Toronto Raptors were here playing the Bucks in the playoffs, and the music as they're introducing the players was the theme song to Barney. I thought that was a nice touch at the Fiserv Forum. In a similar touch yesterday. That's kind of the fun part of this stuff, the behind-the-scenes stuff you don't see or hear all the time.
Yeah, it really is. And they're not the first team that's ever done that. There are a lot of teams that will play just very soft, easy listening. Some people do, some teams do classical music while the other team will be taking batting practice. You know, Mozart and Beethoven go really well with Kraken homers. So that's not unfamiliar. It does put you in a different frame of mind, I would think, if you're listening to that type of music. As opposed to some of the other stuff that you're listening to get your veins pumping a little bit more.
Well, Jeff, I wanted to ask you about Jackson Churio and what you saw during the game on Saturday, because I'll tell you what, I didn't see when his injury happened exactly, but we were pretty close to it. And all of a sudden, I looked over and he was down, and I could see his face from where we were sitting, and I said, "Oh no, oh gosh, what happened?" And then you had Pat Murphy come over, you had the other coaches come over, and they're all discussing, and then he walks off, and he was looking as he was going back into the dugout, just looking up. I'm kind of curious from your perspective what you were able to see, what you were thinking, and what the fans should be thinking now as we go into Game 2 tonight.
So a few different parts to that. As I was on the call for that was the ninth and final run that the Brewers scored, and it was in the bottom of the second inning. Churio had hit 3 times already in the second inning. It was 3 for 3 at 3 RBIs. So you're sitting there and he beats out that play and you're feeling really good about the situation. And then the collective hearts, I think, went into everybody's throats when he's not running at full speed and he's limping a bit back towards the first base bag. And then Murph comes out and you just start thinking to yourself, oh no, not again, because he missed about a month because of the hamstring earlier this season. And then the Brewers promptly won 14 in a row after he went out, unrelated to anything. But it seems like, and he ran yesterday during the batting practice and the practice session yesterday. It seemed as if it was a mild hamstring thing. They're not calling it a strain anymore, which is good. Apparently, he passed all the tests yesterday. We'll see if he's in the lineup penciled in today. That would be a really big sign if he could be in that leadoff spot against Shota Imanaga tonight for game number 2. You just cross your fingers. And from all intents and purposes, he said last night that it was not, or 2 nights ago, that it was not as bad as the hamstring that he felt previously this season.
That almost makes it even more tricky in my mind, Jeff, right? Because there's a little something there, but it's not fully blown out. You don't need that month off. The Brewers obviously have long-term goals here, and you've got this entire month potentially to achieve those goals. You also have a day off tomorrow. It becomes an interesting decision here. I'd be shocked to see him in the field if he were playing. Maybe it's a DH situation, but he plays the game one way, and it's full throttle. That's the one thing that kind of makes you nervous here if he's got to be on the base paths again.
He's very similar to Sal Frelick, right, where he's got one gear and one gear only, and it's tough to tell him to slow down, especially being a 21-year-old kid who's never really experienced injury before this season when he hurt the hamstring. So I agree with you. We'll see, and if he is in the lineup and if he is in the field, then I have a feeling that he's going to be guns a-blazing tonight. So there's no reason if he's in the lineup to worry about it. Because the Brewers have so much at stake that they cannot afford to lose him for more than if it's just one ball game. If he's out for a while, I don't know if the Brewers can afford it, even though they've got Isaac Collins waiting in the wings, and he did a great job in the month of August and was the player of the month in terms of a rookie in the National League for that entire month. So they do have some reserves, but, man, it's really nice to have Jackson Churio in that lineup, and hopefully he's good to go tonight. And if he's not, hopefully for game 3.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Aaron Ashby is the Brewers starting pitcher tonight. Can you walk us through that strategy?
Well, for what the Brewers are trying to do with the opener situation, Michael Busch, the leadoff hitter, is a left-handed batter. You flip Ian Happ around if he's in the number 3 spot. Kyle Tucker is in the number 3 spot potentially. So you've got that left-hander who's on the mound to get you off on the right foot with the top part of their order. Even Seiya Suzuki has struggled against lefties over the course of the season at times. But it just gives you a different look. And if you bring Quinn Priester into the ball game afterwards, it just gives him a better matchup with some of those right-handed hitters down towards the bottom of the lineup. It makes Craig Counsell make a decision, too. Do you want to load up the top of the order with right-handers just to get through the first inning, or do you just play it like normal, knowing it's just going to be one time through the order for Aaron Ashby to get through there? So there's some science behind it. This is not the first time the Brewers have done this. They did it with Jared Koenig a bunch last year. They even did it with DL Hall and Quinn Priester earlier this season towards the beginning part of May and the month of June. So nothing new for Quinn Priester to come out of the bullpen and be a bulk guy. Just the first time they'd be using Aaron Ashby in the situation.
Yeah, I guess the question is, When do you see Priester? And it will be Priester, right? Not Jose Quintana. Quintana's a lefty. You wouldn't do this, I don't believe, if Quintana was your starter in game 2. But does Ashby go 1 inning? Is it 30 pitches? Is it just, you know what I mean? Like, hey, looking good here. Do you go 2 innings with him after pitching an inning and a third on Saturday?
You made the point of the fact that there's an off day tomorrow too, Greg, that you have that extra day of rest. You had a day of rest yesterday. You can roll with whoever you want to roll with today, knowing you got a day off tomorrow. It could be a situation where the Brewers are out in front. Say they get to Imanaga and knock him out in, say, the second or the third inning. And if Ashby's rolling, give him 2 innings. And if they're up a few runs, maybe you see a Jacob Mizorowski. I don't know. I mean, you could do a number of different things depending on how the game plays out today. Priester was so much better at home that I would venture to guess that he would be the more likely guy to come in today, whereas Quintana would get to start at Wrigley. He was phenomenal on the road. A road playoff start is not going to ruffle his feathers one bit. He's been there. He's done that before. I would say it would be more Quintana for game 3 and like a Priester Mizorowski combo plate for game number 2.
You think we're going to have the same start? Anything similar? There was so much energy. I'll tell you what, Jeff, that had to be so exciting for you to call because it took us a little longer than we had hoped to get into parking, and all of a sudden the fireworks are going off. I'm like, oh my gosh, did somebody hit a home run already? You got the Cubs going off, and then the Brewers just matched it. That was so much fun. Can we keep that up tonight?
I sure hope so. I mean, I don't know if they're going to hit 3 straight doubles and 3 straight pitches tonight like they did in the first inning on Saturday afternoon. But, man, it was electric at the ballpark. And I've been a part of this run. This is my 11th year, and I've been to the playoffs now with this team 7 of the last 8 years. And that's as loud as I have heard that place. It's also the most Brewers fans for a Cubs game that I've ever experienced as well. I said on the broadcast probably 3/4, and I think I undersold it. It was probably 85% Brewers fans in that ballpark on Saturday afternoon, and I would venture to think that it's going to be about the same tonight, too.
I'm glad you brought that up because I was looking, and I said it's a little bit harder to tell when you're looking out at the whole ballpark because of the colors, right? I mean, you got a lot of people in blue, but we knew who was walking out when they were leaving the game early. Those were Cubs fans.
The third inning. In the third inning, when people were leaving, you knew that was a deeper shade of blue that was leaving the ballpark and getting their way onto the I-94 interstate. So it was a great atmosphere, and there was a lot to cheer for. And I'm glad the Brewers fans had something to cheer for early. I feel like after Michael Busch hit that home run to lead off the ball game against Freddie Peralta, it could have been really ugly in terms of just the fan bases and the noise and whatnot. So to have that answer immediately in the bottom of the first inning, I think it was huge.
Jeff Levering joining us here. Brewers and Cubs later tonight, 7 o'clock. Our coverage starts here on WTMJ. It's such a crazy thing in baseball, how quickly it moves, Jeff, because you're talking about all the pregame pomp and circumstance, right? The introductions, everything's going off. There's a buzz in the venue. 40,000 people are on their feet. And then 4 pitches into the game, the Brewers are losing, right? And those Cubs fans made themselves very loud, even though they weren't as many as we've seen before. And then momentum changes quickly. And in the span of about 7 pitches, Craig Counsell is instantly regretting his Game 1 starter decision. That's how fast things changed in that game the other day. It was incredible to watch.
That's how postseason is played, Greg. You know that, and it's not like the regular season where it was a 4-run first inning, and we're going to roll our starter out there because our bullpen's been taxed, and we're just going to let them wear it. This is the postseason. Those guys are on such a short leash out there on the mound that when they run into trouble, you're going to see some action quickly. And you saw that with Craig. And Craig went to the bullpen in the first inning, and then he went to the bullpen again in the second inning after Soroka was starting to get lit up like a Christmas tree. So it was kind of nice to see all the moving and the shaking early and to jump out to that 9-1 lead. You felt really good, and Peralta was dealing, and the scouting report came true, right? With the Cubs, they only score runs when they hit homers. They have really struggled with hitting with runners in scoring position. They scored 3 runs in that game on Saturday afternoon, all solo homers. So if you can keep the ball in the ballpark, I think the Brewers have a really good opportunity to win this series.
Jeff, I'd love to go behind the scenes a little bit in your world, especially here at playoff time. How do you balance like play-by-play and storytelling and inside the game analysis with all the stats? Is there a ton of prep? Is there a little prep and a lot of just off the cuff? What's your world like?
Well, it's a lot of prep. I mean, all the information is there at your fingertips. It's just a matter of what you want to do. I'd say that there's less kind of fluff. I mean, we still have to have our fun, right? And it was fun when it was 9-1 and you could kind of get off the rails for a couple of moments. But it's the playoffs, and I think people are living and dying on every pitch, just like if you're in the stands, you are, or if you're watching it on TV, or if you're listening to it on the radio, doing whatever you're doing. So it's our job to inform, and there's less of the fun, and it's more of, okay, here's the nuts and bolts of baseball. So yeah, there's some story time and how this person got to this place and how they were in the regular season and how they were against the Cubs in the regular season. You're filling in the blanks more of that context, as opposed to more of the fluff, if you know what I'm saying. So for me, it's just more game prep and situations and being ready for a potential pitching change or an offensive substitution or a defensive substitution. It's a lot of thinking ahead and kind of thinking like a manager would in these playoff games.
Not going to lie, I love that storytelling. Like, tell me about Aunt Janice and the cookies that they would make before the games when he was a kid. Okay, I love it.
It's all good stuff. That's part of the romance of baseball.
Quinn Priester's grandmother baked cookies for the clubhouse the last time the Brewers were at Wrigley. So
That's
maybe
right.
that'll ring true the next time we're there after the ball game and before game number 3 on Wednesday. You just never know.
Well, I saw GM Matt Arnold in the bowels of the stadium after Saturday's game, and he walked by me and shook my hand. We shook hands, and he said, 1 down, 10 to go. And then he kept walking.
That's right.
So that's the mindset here of this Brewers team. Looking forward to tonight's game. Coverage gets underway at 7 o'clock. Jeff, we're just going to keep doing this with you as long as the Brewers are playing. I'm booking you now for next Monday because it's a fun ride and you can help take us behind the scenes.
You got it. That would be game 1 of the NLCS would be next Monday at American Family Field if it comes to be that way. So, I mean, this is 3 Mondays in a row. Let's keep the good times rolling, guys.
Good stuff, Jeff. We appreciate it, man. Thank you. Have a good call tonight.
You got it. See you guys.
12:51 here on WTMJ. As Jessica waves her rally towel here in the studio.
It's also a good arm exercise.
Well, I suppose it is, yeah. The towels are nice. Definitely nice. And, of course, you could get to the game early if you want to catch the Cubs taking batting practice. You might hear a little Phil Collins. That's what they did last time.
One more night.
That was good.
One more win.
One more win. 12:52 on WTMJ.
From the biggest stars to the greatest moments. Behind the Bucks is Bucks history like you've never heard it before. It's all on Behind the Bucks on the Bucks Plus audio network. Behind the Bucks is presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. Available now on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, the new ESPN Wisconsin app, and wherever you get podcasts.
Greg Matzek here. If you're looking for a way to beautify the interior of your home right around the windows, how about window treatments from Bumblebee Blinds Milwaukee? Such kind people, some wonderful people work for Bumblebee Blinds Milwaukee. They came out to our house a little over a month ago. We needed some ideas. We did nothing with window treatments when we built our house. I got too much light coming in some rooms, not enough darkness, or enough night being blocked out when we'd like to have it blocked out, all sorts of issues. I did the big box store stuff, and I wish I hadn't because that stuff is falling apart. Bumblebee Blinds Milwaukee can walk you through the process of beautifying those window treatments, updating and upgrading, simple solutions, and quality craftsmanship. Stuff that works and looks great. You'll find it at Bumblebee Blinds Milwaukee. Book a free consultation today. We had Darren come out to the house, wonderful guy, and he had some samples, some ideas, some stuff we had never really seen before, why a certain product would look great in one room, but maybe not the other, where he had a different solution. It was really a nice education for us. Expert design consultations, blinds made easy, window treatments galore, Bumblebee Blinds Milwaukee. Check them out, book that free consultation, and refresh your home with Bumblebee Blinds Milwaukee.
Sweet Talks is a woman-owned medical spa in Menominee Falls, fostering self-love and confidence. Our expert registered nurse injectors go beyond injectables, offering lasers, medical weight loss, hormone therapy, and more. Join thousands of satisfied patients at sweettalks.com.
Mondays and Tuesdays can be a challenge. Brighten up your day with a free dinner tonight at the historic Fox and Hound Supper Club near Holy Hill. Witness the spectacular fall colors as you drive through the Kettle Moraine Forest to the Fox and Hounds. Tonight, Tuesday, and Thursday, enjoy an 8-ounce beef tenderloin paired with a mahi-mahi topped with mango salsa, potato, super salad, and the Fox & Hound's homemade bread with honey cinnamon butter for $68.99. And that's for 2 dinners. Relax with an old-fashioned, over 20 bourbons, and 100 wines in the 8 unique dining rooms. The Fox & Hounds is off Highway 167, east of the Holy Hill Shrine. The fall colors are breathtaking. Enjoy 2 beef tenderloin and mahi-mahi dinners tonight for under $69. All other dinners are buy one, get one free. Desserts, too. Tables are open. Serving from 4 p.m. Call and reserve. Google the Fox & Hounds for your free dinner.
WTMJ's Eric Bilstead here for Tri-County Contracting. You've heard about Tri-County Contracting and their worry-free roof tune-up. You've heard about their instant roof quote. But don't forget, Tri-County Contracting also handles windows. Our project at my home moving right along right now, and the process has been so easy and thorough. It's nice when you can trust the team you're working with and know that they are looking out for you. Tri-County Contracting, WI.com. It's worry-free roofing, siding, and also windows. Tri-County Contracting, WI.com.
So we do have game time for games 3, 4 if necessary, and 5 if necessary here in the NLDS. So this popped last night, I believe. So you got tonight's game. It's kind of a late one here.
8:08.
8:08 the first pitch. Wednesday's game is going to be a 4:08 first pitch in the afternoon. That'll be at Wrigley. I've not looked at the forecast,
I
but
like that
nonetheless,
time.
That is a solid time here, right? You kind of get that game done right around dinner time, maybe a little later. You've got another 8:08 start for game 4, if necessary. That would be on Thursday. And then Saturday's game 5, if necessary, in Milwaukee would be 3:38. So 4:08, 8:08, 3:38. If it goes 5 games.
I've never really thought about this until this moment, but say today's game was 1:08. I feel like I'm never taken off of work for the games because usually I'm covering them. There's excitement there. So what do people with jobs do? Seriously, though, like with a normal job, when you find out, because it's not like you've been planning on it for months,
sure,
and you can take the day off. I mean, we just found out, what was it, Friday, about the times?
Yeah.
So if we did have that, if Saturday's game time was today's game time, well, what does everybody do?
Well, that's a perfect opportunity for those to hit up the text line here and let us know what your plans are. 855-616-1620. And start that tailgate early, even though it's not a 1:08 start time. We authorize you to bail a little early today.
You got the blue and yellow flu?
Yep, right. News is coming up here. It's 12:57 on WTMJ.
It's a bird bash at Potawatomi. Thursdays, you could win up to $50,000 cash in the Bird Bash Game Show. Just play with your rewards card this October for a chance to win. Wouldn't you like to rake in a huge pile of cash? Bird Bash, only at Potawatomi Casino Hotel, Milwaukee. More info at potawatomi.com/birdbash. Must be 21 years old to play.
Greg Matzek here. I want to tell you about Matrix Basement Finishing. They only do basements, and they are doing ours. As a matter of fact, it let some folks in today. Getting started with some demo work. We've got framing scheduled for next week, Wednesday, and we are off and running with our project. It started about a month and a half ago, just a simple design consultation. What did we want to do with our basement? Are there specific rooms we wanted to have? You know what I'm talking about, a bar area, maybe a gym, a bathroom, bedroom, theater room. If you can do it, hey, get that golf simulator up and running. If you can dream it, Matrix Basement Finishing can do it. Special pricing for you. Visit matrixbasements.com/Matzek. My personal landing page, matrixbasements.com/Matzek. Pay attention. All the 5-star reviews on Google, their incredible photo and video gallery, really cool stuff. You'll see the work they do. You'll be impressed. I know we were. We've connected with Matrix Basement Finishing. We've gone through the process without leaving our home. They came to us with that free design consultation, picking out our selections, all that kind of good stuff. And first meeting at the house today with the folks who are there to work on it. Been a great experience so far. We'll keep you updated along the way. It's Matrix Basement Finishing.
Hey, WTMJ, Steve Scafidi here. Are you a member of the State of Wisconsin Pension Program? If so, you may have questions about your benefits and what they mean to your retirement plan. Join me along with Anik Wealth Management Director of Financial Planning Eric Strom and Senior Financial Planner Tom Burkholz on October 21st at 3:30 p.m. We'll discuss fundamentals, like how to look at your statement, and go deeper looking at case studies that may help relieve concerns and answer your questions about WRS. That's Tuesday, October 21st at 3:30 p.m. Register now. Visit WTMJ.com or events at AnixWealth.com.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
It is time again for the Monday Makeover.
Hi, this is Maura from Merle Norman Salon and Spa in Brookfield.
I had my Milbon treatment. I had the Reawaken, and it's non-chemical, and it felt so sleek and so pretty. Erin did a great job. I went to the airport the next morning, and the woman who was checking me out, she said, "Oh my gosh, if my hair could look like yours, if I could grow it like that." I got so excited. I was like, I just had this Milbon treatment at Merle Norman. You know, the one in Brookfield.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
So thanks to you and Erin and Renee for making me look my best.
Thank you. We appreciate you.
And speaking of best, who are the best sellers at Merle Norman?
We're super excited to share our top 5 sellers for the month.
And one of them is one of my staples. I'll go ahead and tell you the first one is the Ultra Powder Foundation. What else is on the bestseller list?
Our Ultimate Firming Neck Cream, our Dual Action Eye Makeup Remover, our Anti-Aging Complex Eye Cream, and our Brilliant Sea Cleanser. The Ultimate Firming Neck Cream is specifically formulated for the delicate neck and chest area, and it helps to firm and tighten the looser skin that we see around the neck.
The Dual Action Eye Makeup Remover.
Hands down, the best eye makeup remover that you will use. It has a dual action formula, so it gently dissolves the makeup and then rinses it away, and it doesn't leave a greasy residue behind either.
Anti-Aging Complex Eye Cream.
So we have our moisturizers for the face, our moisturizers for the neck, and we also want something for the eye because the skin around the eye area is so thin. So this eye cream is formulated for that, but also has peptides and antarcticine in, which are designed for those lines and crow's feet that develop around the eye area, and puffiness and dark circles.
And number 5, the Brilliant Sea Cleanser.
One of my favorites because it's suitable for all skin types. Everyone can use it, but it also has our Bright Plus complex in, which is a combination of vitamin C and other vitamins that help to brighten the skin. Anytime you want to try anything, we can give you a sample to try it before you buy it.
Call Merle Norman or book online at mnsalonbrookfield.com.
The place you want to go, Lynch McWanago.
Nobody sells for less than Lynch.
2 rivals, 1 stage. It all comes down to October.
Breaking ball. Hit high. Hit deep. Left center. Bye-bye, baseball.
It's game 2 of the NLDS as the Brewers host the Cubs in Milwaukee.
3 for 3 for Jackson Chourio. It's 9-1.
Our Brewers Radio Network game day coverage starts tonight at 7:30. October runs through the home of the Brewers. News Radio 620, WTMJ, Milwaukee.
I'm Greg Matzek. This is Wisconsin's Midday News. It's Monday, October 6th. Your top story, serious charges for a former NFL quarterback.
I'm Jessica Tighe. An early morning fire at a local restaurant.
Increasing clouds, some afternoon and evening showers are possible, and a high of 76. On and off rain tonight, a low of 55. Morning rain possible on Tuesday with a high of 65 degrees. It's 74 and mostly sunny in Milwaukee at 102. From WTMJ Breaking Newsroom, he was arrested over the weekend for attacking a truck driver. Now the charges against former NFL quarterback and current Fox Sports commentator Mark Sanchez are more serious.
Sanchez originally faced misdemeanor charges, but now Marion County, Indiana prosecutor Ryan Mears says the alleged victim's injuries are serious, so the charges have been upgraded.
Felony charge, a level 5 felony of battery involving serious bodily injury, which contains a penalty of 1 to 6 years.
A police affidavit says the 38-year-old Sanchez attacked the 69-year-old truck driver over a parking issue. The driver says he pepper sprayed and stabbed Sanchez in self-defense. Sanchez is still hospitalized. His first court date has been pushed back from tomorrow to November 4th. Peter King, CBS News.
The mayor of Chicago signs an order establishing what he calls ice-free zones. Illinois, the National Fraternal Orders of Police say Chicago police have been told to stand down in assisting ICE agents dealing with law-breaking protesters. Mayor Brandon Johnson and Chicago police deny that.
They are taking police resources that should be in our neighborhoods, serving Chicagoans, and diverting them to deal with the chaos that they are causing.
This comes after another weekend of clashes between protesters and federal agents. Today, the state of Illinois followed a lawsuit trying to block the Trump administration from deploying National Guard troops to the streets of Chicago.
Closer to home, no one injured after fire damages a restaurant in Hills Corners. Fire crews responded just before 4 o'clock this morning to the Hale House restaurant on Forest Home. Fire started on the building on the outside, then spread to the interior area of the kitchen. Investigators believe the fire started in a towel bin outside, but adjacent to the building. They are not sure exactly what caught fire specifically. The restaurant is closed while the owners assess the damage.
Trade, transportation, and tourism were some of the topics at the Great Lakes Summit of Governors and Premiers in Quebec, Canada. Wisconsin Governor Tony Evers.
We talk about shipbuilding a lot over the last couple of days and how important that is, but environment issues around solving problems around sustainability, all those things are part and parcel of our world. But the uncertainty out of Washington, D.C. is a problem.
Evers and other regional leaders discussed water usage related to new data centers in Wisconsin and regional economic development.
The WIAA's regulations have kept 4 players from competing for most of the soccer season at Living Word Lutheran High School.
After receiving their injunction, the students and their guardian were finally able to return to the field. The students' coach, Oswald Buechwa, says seeing them finally play was emotional.
I was emotional, actually. I couldn't hold my emotion in check at the court, so I was very happy, relieved, finally they were able to compete.
Coach Oz wants the students to learn from this experience.
What I told them, I want you guys to know that sometimes you got to fight for yourself. Nothing will be easy in life. You have to fight for everything. As you go to college, as you get to work, you got to make sure you know what your rights are, and you have to fight for yourself.
Nazir Spencer, WTMJ News.
Time for news about your money in the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Now, the Dow is fighting back. It was down about 100 points or so an hour ago. It's currently down about 25 points at 46,735. Good day for the Nasdaq, up nearly 200 points at 22,965, and the S&P up about 35 today at 6748. For sound financial advice from a fee-only fiduciary, it's Annex Wealth Management. Go to annexwealth.com and click on the Get Started button today.
A reliever will start Game 2 for the Brewers tonight. Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 1:06.
For your fellow fanatics and your number one fans. For your game day compatriots and your everyday companions. For your personal cheerleaders and your personal heroes. For the reasons you smile, get covered with dental and vision insurance from Delta Dental of Wisconsin and Delta Vision. Learn more at deltadentalwi.com today.
Ben, why are you wearing a lab coat?
I'm conducting a highly sensitive experiment, Arvid.
Here, at Penny Mustard.
Obviously, Nicole.
What's going on?
We've seen a significant uptick in the number of gasping customers.
Gasping?
I've isolated the gasping to this 12-foot radius.
Well, of course. This is where we display the Joni sofa.
Now that's a gasp-worthy sofa.
The Joni sofa's sophisticrafted fortress frame construction makes it as strong as a tank.
When you pair it with our high-quality foam and hundreds of fabric and leather options, you get an incredibly durable, yet surprisingly supple sofa.
Was that you?
Oh no, it's contagious.
Come see the Joni sofa, American-made with Fortress hardwood frame, ultra-high-density cushions, and hundreds of fabric and leather options, starting at $19.13 at Penny Mustard.
Showrooms in Milwaukee and Chicago.
PennyMustard.com.
Better versions of what people want.
Penny Mustard Furnishings.
It's WTMJ's Debbie Lazaga for Comfort Awnings. I reclaim my outdoor space by having Comfort Awnings install a motorized retractable awning so I can enjoy the sun and get relief when I need it. Sensors are also available that detect strong winds and rain to extend or retract your awning. They even protect against UV radiation so you can safely enjoy the outdoors. Family owned and located in Burlington, Comfort Awnings expertly installs custom awnings that fit your home and style. Right now, you can receive a free motor for your automated awning with your order. Call 414-Awnings or visit comfortawnings.com.
Enjoy life at Capri Communities.
I recently moved my dad into a Capri community. My dad has really blossomed since moving to Capri and has gained new independence. His falls have decreased, he's eating healthy meals, and going on new adventures. Knowing Dad is in a great place takes my worries away, and now we're both enjoying life again.
Enjoy life at Capri Communities.
Time for WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all sports desk. Aaron Ashby on the mound for the Brewers tonight to start Game 2 of the NLDS against the Cubs. How long he goes is a big question. Outfielder Jackson Churio also questionable for tonight's game with a hamstring strain.
It's inconclusive and it's not a serious hamstring strain, but it's not necessarily something that won't limit him. So we're going to kind of see how he feels. He's going to go through some testing, and if he feels anything we're going to shut it down.
Brewers manager Pat Murphy. Coverage of tonight's game begins at 7 o'clock on WTMJ. And believe it or not, there's preseason basketball tonight for the Milwaukee Bucks. They open up in Miami against the Heat. Hear that game on 94.5 ESPN at 6:30. And Week 5 of the NFL season wraps up tonight in Jacksonville. The Jaguars take on the Kansas City Chiefs.
Checking out the roads with your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. The crash that we were looking at in Milwaukee County, I-43 South, right around Silver Spring Drive. There's still one vehicle off to the side on the right shoulder. So you do have the right shoulder that is still blocked because of that crash. But before there were 3 cars out there. Now we're down to 1. So things are looking up.
Keeping an eye on the radar today. Chance for some evening showers. Might affect your tailgate plans. We'll get a better sense of that coming up in about 25 minutes with Lauren Larson from TMJ4. Potential for some morning showers on Tuesday. Sun should arrive eventually with a high of 66. And then we kind of cool off here a little bit with Wednesday's high just 60 degrees. Thursday, sunny and cooler, a high of 62. Friday, back up into the upper 60s under sunny skies. 73, partly sunny in Milwaukee at 110.
Live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios in downtown Milwaukee, it's Wisconsin's Midday News, making stories come to life. Now, here are your hosts, Greg Matzek and Jessica Tighe.
Oh, didn't expect to see you on Saturday. I didn't know you were going to the Brewers game. That was a great idea. What a great improv and a beautiful day.
Oh, my gosh, it was stunning. Yeah, it was kind of last minute. I mean, anytime. Playoffs in Milwaukee, you want to be there, right? But it's a matter of, okay, when can you go? What makes the most sense? And actually, it was funny because one of my girlfriends texted a couple of us and said, "Are you guys going to the game?" She and her husband were out, like, tailgating already. And I said, thinking about it, debating. And then sure enough, boom, sent him a picture. Here we are. I didn't actually expect to see you either, all of a sudden. So to give you guys an idea, this was after the game. My husband goes, "Isn't that Greg?" And you were it kind of seemed like you were off in the grass a little bit. And I wasn't expecting to see
wandering.
you because initially you weren't going to be there. And so I said, "I don't think so." And then I'm like, wait, I looked from afar and I thought, that is Greg. Greg.
Yeah, well, it was good to see you there, and obviously a great win for the Brewers here, looking to make it 2 in a row. If you can duplicate that atmosphere.
Oh, my goodness. What a game. What a start.
That's kind of what home field advantage is all about. And the series certainly will shift back to Chicago for at least one game on Wednesday of this week. But tonight's game, it'll be a late one, 8:08 the first pitch.
We also took a picture that we'll probably never use.
Okay.
No need for
Fair
it.
enough.
But I said, let's take a picture. Okay. As though I wasn't going to see you in like 48 hours.
Well, a good time was had by all. 112 here on WTMJ.
And now it's time for 3 Big Things on Wisconsin's Midday News.
Number 1, the conversation over red light cameras revs up. Milwaukee Mayor Cavalier Johnson is teaming up with Senator Dora Drake today to highlight tomorrow's big hearing on authorizing the use of cameras to enforce traffic violations. The mayor is in favor of adding red light and speed cameras to the city. They are currently prohibited under state law, but that could change. Tomorrow's public hearing is at 11 a.m. at the Summerfest building. Here on Midday, we dove into the effectiveness of these cameras during a discussion with the Insurance Institute of Highway Safety. Researcher Wen Hu with the bottom line.
Both red light safety cameras and speed safety cameras improve safety for sure. So they reduce red running, they reduce speeding, and then, of course, the result is there's a reduction in severe and fatal injury crashes.
If you look around the country, many of our neighboring states use those cameras. In fact, IIHS, when I was looking into when and trying to find somebody who could really talk about the effectiveness of these cameras and who's done the actual research, they had this really handy map. And it was interesting to see what states are using them. So if you look at our neighbors, Minnesota has speed cameras. Iowa and Illinois have both speed cameras and red light cameras. Michigan, though, Michigan is like us, using neither right now.
I've not encountered them. In fact, you know what? I have actually. In Minneapolis, in that general area, I have noticed them in my most recent trip to Minnesota. I've not noticed them driving around Illinois. I've not noticed them really anywhere else aside of Arizona. And they've been a thing in Arizona for a number of years. I know that just from covering spring training, like 8 years in a row. Like they would always tell you, you're leaving the rental car counter, hey, might want to be cautious on the roads here. Not that they're saying I'm a crazy driver,
right, but just heads up.
Yeah, anywhere you go, like you think you timed out that yellow light turning red just perfectly? Maybe not. Watch your speed. That's the first place I ever encountered the cameras.
When I lived in Iowa, probably 15 years ago now, maybe, I went by one every single day on my way to work.
Nice.
I knew it was there. wasn't speeding.
Two big storylines for the Brewers going into Game 2 of their NLDS series with the Cubs. Number one, Jackson Chourio, the outfielder, 21 years old, had 3 hits in the first 2 innings of Game 1, then left with a hamstring issue. He was on the field yesterday doing some, not hitting, but he was doing some jogging from home plate to first. Wouldn't say he was exactly sprinting. The results of an MRI.
It's inconclusive, and it's not a serious hamstring strain, but it's not necessarily something that won't limit him. So we're going to kind of see how he feels. He's going to go through some testing, and if he feels anything, we're going to shut it down.
He's not the kind of guy to throttle down either, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Chourio's 21. He plays at 1 gear, 1 level, and it's all out. I'd be shocked to see him in the outfield tonight. Even if he's a DH, I know you'd still potentially have to run and really kind of lean into your speed. You're trying to minimize his opportunities to strain it, I would think. So this will be a very interesting decision here for Pat Murphy.
Yeah, we saw it. I actually missed the moment that the injury happened, but all of a sudden I was chatting, and then I looked over, and Chourio was basically like right in front of us, and I could just tell by the way he was down, it did not look good. And I think I said out loud, oh no, what happened?
Yeah.
And then Pat Murphy came over, and some of the other coaches came over, and then all of a sudden Chourio was walking back, looking up to the sky, going to the dugout, and that's not good.
So the other thing to watch is tonight's starter, Aaron Ashby. He is a reliever being called upon to start tonight's game. Why? He's a lefty, and typically Craig Counsell's lineup feature a lot of lefties at the top. So Counsell could make the decision to move some of those guys into different positions in the lineup, not ideal, or just roll them out and let Ashby go through the lefty-dominant portion of the Cubs lineup. He's not going to pitch long. I think he goes an inning, maybe 2 innings at the max, and then it's Quinn Priester who comes in. Quinn Priester is a right-handed hitter. You start playing analytics and matchups. It's a totally different game managing your pitching situation in the postseason. We've seen that year after year in Milwaukee.
Number 3, beef. It's not for dinner. That's what more and more people are saying these days. The traditional staple of the American dinner table has never been more expensive. In fact, as ABC's Jim Ryan explains, beef prices have shot up more than 14% in the past year.
At 86.6 million head, the U.S. cattle herd is at its smallest since 1951. Drought in cattle-producing states gets part of the blame. So do tariffs imposed on imported beef. And then there's the New World screwworm, which has infected cattle in Mexico, crimping the supply of beef from that country.
$6.32 on average for ground beef, more than $9 a pound for steak right now. So shoppers, when prices get like this, you start looking for alternatives. You have many people choosing chicken instead, about $2 less than ground beef.
So interesting. I like the tenderloin from Sendik's.
Oh, that's my favorite.
But it's right next to the salmon at Sendik's. And typically they're pretty close in price per pound until recently. Or it's very clear now that the salmon is the better buy than the beef, and it goes to exactly what you're talking about here. And it didn't feel incremental. It felt like, whoa, hang on a second now. So now you got to find it on special here and there. But next to the salmon is when I noticed the big jump.
Yeah, you feel it in your pocketbook.
It's a good name for a band, Leftover Salmon. 117 here on WTMJ. We check in with Peter Haralambous. Diddy vows to appeal. Did he or didn't he? We'll explore after this.
You've seen us around town, volunteering, supporting events, and showing up where it matters. At Waterstone Bank, we're more than a bank. We're your neighbor. The money you deposit stays local, helping small businesses, creating jobs, and supporting home ownership. It's banking from the community for the community. Visit your local branch or WSBOnline.com to see how we're building a stronger southeastern Wisconsin, one neighbor at a time. Waterstone Bank, member FDIC.
For 70 years, Geis has been the trusted garage authority in Wisconsin. What an incredible company here. It's Geis. Trust my friends at Geis to help you out if you're in need of a new door or opener. Garage doors, openers, in stock, incredible inventory, wonderful brands like CHI and LiftMaster ready to go for you. It's a pretty impressive showroom they've got in Brookfield. It's right off Barker Road. I've been there, connected with the folks at Geis. They've helped me out with issues I've had in the past. They'll do the same for you. Big or small really doesn't matter. Don't think twice. Call Geis for swift and reliable garage repair solutions or get the process started at geisdoors.com. Custom projects? You bet Geis can handle that as well. A one-stop shop for all things garage doors. Don't think twice. Call Geis and visit geisdoors.com.
After a serious accident, you'll need a winning team to protect your rights. Trust Wisconsin's own Ruger Law Offices. proud partner of your Milwaukee Brewers. One call, that's all.
You've still got it, but your immune system weakens as you age, making it hard to fight flu, pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Get the help you need Saturday morning with How To Radio. At 7, it's the WTMJ Fix-It Show with David Nason, featuring this week's guest, Siding Unlimited. At 9, plan your dream vacation with the Fox World Travel Show. At 10, get financial guidance during Money Talk. Contact Annex Wealth Management for an unbiased review of your investments at annexwealth.com. How To Radio, Saturday mornings on WTMJ.
Sean Diddy Combs is not done fighting. The music mogul was just sentenced to more than 4 years in prison, but his lawyers say the judge went too far, using charges a jury already cleared him of to hand down that sentence. Now they're gearing up for an appeal. ABC's Peter Haralambous is in New York with what his legal team is arguing and what happens next. Peter, can you get everybody up to speed first? What exactly Diddy was convicted of, and what charges did the jury not convict him of?
Yeah, so this was a split verdict back in July. The jury ultimately acquitted Sean Combs of the more serious counts of sex trafficking and racketeering, but they did convict him on these lesser counts of transportation to engage in prostitution. Basically, they came to the conclusion that in the case of two different women who Combs was used to be in a relationship, he transported them across state lines for the purposes of sex. So that was really the main conclusion that the jury reached. Otherwise, they kind of cleared him of any kind of wrongdoing. Ultimately, based on that kind of largely acquittal, Combs' lawyers were arguing to get him out of prison as early as this weekend. But on Friday, a judge, after a 7-hour hearing, concluded that Sean Combs is going to spend a total of 50 months in prison. He's already served about a year of that, so he's looking at getting out sometime in the range of 2028.
How unusual is it for a judge to consider conduct related to acquitted charges when deciding a sentence?
Yeah, it's slightly controversial, but it's kind of standard, at least in the federal process. A judge has the ability, if they so choose, to consider the context of the entire crime, even if some of that conduct relates to acquitted conduct. So in this case, even though the jury ultimately concluded that Sean Combs didn't use force or coercion against his victims, the judge considered the fact that force or coercion was used in the context of the transportation to engage in prostitution counts. It's impossible to really escape the violence of this case. Sean Combs, for about 15 years of his life, according to the jury, kind of engaged in these kind of prolonged parties known as freak-offs. And we saw kind of copious violence over the course of the trial, including that infamous video of Sean Combs viciously beating his ex-girlfriend Cassie Ventura in a Los Angeles hotel. So that violence really colored this verdict, even if that acquittal cleared Sean Combs of a lot of the wrongdoing here. The judge said he couldn't really get around that, and in this case, he wanted the sentence to reflect actions that kind of include years of domestic abuse.
What's the legal precedent for appealing on these grounds? Do defendants ever win or typically win?
You know, it's a hit or miss record here. You know, Combs could use this as grounds for an appeal, but I don't necessarily think it's his best shot, given the fact that, you know, there's a lot of case law over the course of the years that allow a judge to do this. Another consideration is that Sean Combs is only going to be in prison for about another 2.5 years. So in a way, there's a world here that this appeal doesn't actually make its way through the courts in time, and that in this case, at least, Sean Combs is out of prison before the appeal is exhausted.
Given how big of a case this is, how high profile it is, does it send any kind of message to other celebrities facing serious allegations considering the sentence that he just got?
Yeah, the judge certainly hopes that it will send a message. In this case, he was very clear during the sentencing that he wants this verdict to send a message to people who commit domestic violence and domestic abuse, that there are serious consequences for those actions. Even if Sean Combs was cleared of sex trafficking and racketeering, that violence was kind of undisputed during that trial. And the judge believed that this high-profile case with eyes all over the world watching could be a good opportunity to send a message. Combs' lawyers are already saying they're going to appeal. They're saying that the judge was being unfair to their clients, that he was unfairly trying to send a message, and they're accusing the judge basically of acting like a 13th juror in this case.
Peter, throughout this trial, we have checked in off and on with you because you have been there, sitting in the courtroom, taking it all in, watching what happens. You were there all day on Friday as well, a very long sentencing hearing. What were your observations?
Yeah, I mean, first off, how abnormal it is to have a sentencing hearing go this long. Most sentencings go from about 1 to 3 hours. We're talking about a 7-hour full-day ordeal. That was unusual, and it was deeply emotional, at least for Sean Combs and his family. 6 of Combs' children addressed the court at one point, begging this judge to release Sean Combs back to his family. Combs got visibly emotional during that. They also played a video montage of his life and career and charitable works. Combs just sobbing at points of that video. He also directly addressed the court. That's common. That happens during most of these sentencings. But it was interesting to see Combs for the first time during this trial addressing the court in his own words, saying that he is so deeply sorry, that he's humbled by this experience, that he believes he's a changed man, and begging this judge for mercy. Ultimately, though, that judge didn't really buy into that plea and believed that a lengthy sentence was worthwhile in this case.
I feel like here in Milwaukee, people have been so focused on the Brewers that maybe they didn't see any public or industry reaction. Over the weekend, was there any industry reaction, support, backlash, or a mix of both now that we have this sentence?
I think you were mainly seeing people kind of come to the support of this judge and this verdict. Not much public support for Sean Combs, especially given the violent nature of some of these crimes. I will note at least one reaction that's particularly notable. That's the reaction of Cassie Ventura. This is one of Combs' ex-girlfriends who was at the center of this case. She was arguably the star witness of the prosecution case. Her lawyer responded after this verdict came down with a statement saying that they appreciate the judge considering all of that conduct and believe that this is a fair sentence. Combs' lawyers fully disagree. They're already planning to appeal. But for now, at least some of Combs' victims are sighing a breath of relief.
And what's the timeline for an appeal like this? Combs remains in prison while it's pending, correct?
Yeah, that's right. You can argue for him to get released during the appeal, but it's unlikely to be successful. They could theoretically file any day now that he's convicted, though I assume it will take a little bit of time for them to prepare an appeal. And then it kind of goes through the court. It's going to be the Second Circuit Court of Appeals here in New York, and then theoretically the Supreme Court if they lose at the Second Circuit level. But we're talking about a month or even a years-long process.
Wow. All right, Sean Diddy Combs' legal fight far from over at this point. ABC's Peter Haralambos, thanks as always for joining us.
Thanks so much for having me. Have a great day.
I'm with James Imaging Systems client Preston Clark. He oversees IT services at Creative Business Interiors. Preston, you get the benefit of one-on-one relationships with the James team, like when your sales rep said something unexpected. What did they say?
Hey, this is a little high. You're not printing as much as we thought you were going to print.
Then the James team member had even better news.
Correct. Let's bring that down. Let's make it a little cheaper and still keep you on the same program.
The James Managed Print Services Program. All your document output devices bundled under one invoice that includes service and supplies for one low cost per print. Nice, right, Preston?
Yes, felt great. Felt secure, Don't have to worry about, again, somebody just coming in and selling something and then walking away and never hearing from them again.
James Imaging Systems, AI-driven workflow automation, security enhancements, and digital transformation. Call 262-781-7700 or visit jamesimaging.com.
Founded by inventors, fueled by community, focused on business. What a great story, the story of Horicon Bank. Founded in 1896, doors opened at Horicon. People were going to work. They needed a community bank to cash their checks. Well, Horicon Bank has expanded quite a bit since the 1800s, but they've not lost a community-minded approach and feel to doing business. They will support your business, get it off the ground and running with financing requests that can be approved in days, not weeks. Horicon Bank understands you and your business. Service and products go hand to hand, and they've got over 100 years experience. Together, doing good, that's the vision of Horicon Bank, truly the natural choice. Member FDIC.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy. In 2011, I founded Wesley Financial Group with one goal in mind, to help honest folks out of their timeshares permanently. Today, I run Wesley with my 2 sons, a real family business, treating every client and every employee like we'd want our own family treated. That philosophy has helped us grow into the largest, most trusted timeshare cancellation company in the United States. Fortune magazine even recognized us as one of the best places to work. Why? Because we genuinely care. In fact, some of our former clients were so moved by their experience working with us, they joined our team so they could help others to timeshare freedom. If you're stuck in a timeshare, give us a call. Let our family help your family.
Call Wesley now for your free timeshare exit kit. 800-549-8866. 800-549-8866. 800-549-8866.
Oh boy, it's getting so expensive to dine out, but not at the Mind Chef restaurant in Hartford. WTMJ's John Mercure here. The Mind Chef is family owned, understands inflation hurts. Every Monday when you buy one pizza, you get a second pizza absolutely free. Any size, any quantity, you buy one, get one free. Buy two, get two free. Buy 10 pizzas, get 10 free pizzas. Business owners, managers, bring in pizza for your hardworking employees and your key clients. They're going to love it because it's delicious pizza and your second pizza's free, saving your company a ton of money. Bring your family in today for free pizza. Your kids will love that world-class game room, the Mine Shaft in beautiful downtown Hartford and near EAA and Oshkosh, just off the interstate. Lots of seating, lots of close parking, no need to cook. Don't think about cleaning today. Mondays can be tough enough. Buy one pizza, get one free at the Mine Shaft. Plenty to take home for tomorrow. Desserts, and I love their desserts, are also buy one, get one free. Just walk in today for your free Monday pizza, MineshaftRestaurant.com.
It's 1:30. I'm Greg Matzek. This is Wisconsin's Midday News for Monday, October 6th. Your top story, will he run for re-election?
I'm Jessica Tighe, closing the theater at Bayshore Mall.
Increasing clouds, maybe some rain tonight. Storms isolated, high of 76. On and off showers this evening, a low of 55. Currently 73 and sunny in Milwaukee.
ABC News, I'm Brian Clark. A lawsuit from the governor of Illinois and mayor of Chicago describes President Trump's plan to send federal troops to Chicago as, quote, advances in his long-declared war on Chicago. The suit says they're unlawful and dangerous, but White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt says
the president wants to help these local leaders who have been completely ineffective in securing their own cities.
The White House also will appeal the order that blocks the president from sending federal troops from California to Portland, Oregon. The Senate returns this afternoon, but an end to the government shutdown appears unlikely because the funding measure up for a vote does not include the Democratic demands of restored Medicaid or extending insurance subsidies. Indirect talks are underway in Egypt with a goal of ending the fighting between Israel and Hamas. A U.S. delegation's there. And the Supreme Court's new term began today. The justices declined to consider an appeal from Ghislaine Maxwell, Jeffrey Epstein's former girlfriend. This is ABC News.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time is 1:31. Decision, Wisconsin. The state's longest-serving assembly speaker says he's considering not running for re-election next year. Republican Robin Voss making those comments on WISN's Upfront, saying he plans to announce his decision sometime in January. WISN political director Matt Smith tells WTMJ it doesn't appear Voss has bigger political aspirations.
No, and it never has. I mean, listen, I think he likes his combination of being in the community, owning businesses. He referenced that, and then also serving as Assembly Speaker, which, as you mentioned, the longest serving. So he's had a long run at it.
Voss was first elected Speaker in 2013.
More than a year to go before the election, and the first gubernatorial poll is out.
The Badger Battleground poll shows strong support for one recently declared candidate and for another who hasn't even entered the race. On the Republican side, 30% support U.S. Representative Tom Tiffany. On the Democrat side, 16% support former Lieutenant Governor Mandela Barnes, who is considering a run, with other support split among the 7 declared Democrat candidates. But it's early in the race, and the greatest percent for both parties say they're undecided. Jessica Gatso, WTMJ News.
As the Trump administration revokes visas and deportation protections, some Republican lawmakers believe the United States needs more ways to enter the country. Wisconsin State Representative Jesse Rodriguez says more work visas could fill employment gaps and keep immigrants safer from the dangers of illegal entry.
It puts them in a situation where they become prey to people who are willing to use them, to human traffic them, and use them for other ways. I'm just sad that our country is focusing only on the border and not addressing the other issue, which is how do we allow more people to come to this country legally and allow them to work in our country, knowing that we have, a need.
Rodriguez emigrated from El Salvador in the 1980s.
A motorcyclist is seriously hurt after a crash in Milwaukee's Walker's Point neighborhood. It happened overnight, just after midnight, near 10th and National. Milwaukee police say a driver turned in front of the motorcycle and caused the crash. The driver of that car remained at the scene and is cooperating with police.
After several weeks of dark, empty rooms and shuttered doors, the ACX Theater at Bayshore Mall in Glendale is closing permanently. The closure affects the theater, arcade, bowling alley, and backlot pizza and kitchen. The Journal-Sentinel reports Bayshore ownership says it reclaimed the space because the Omaha-based ACX Cinemas failed to meet its lease terms. The theater opened in late 2023 in the former IPIC space and was the first new movie theater in Milwaukee since 2019.
It's Ashby's turn. Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 1:34.
Seal out drafts, dust, and moisture with MD brand weather stripping from Menards. A well-sealed home is more comfortable and energy efficient. We have the largest selection of in-stock weather stripping with over 100 products available to take home and start lowering your energy bills today. Save big money on weather stripping right now at Menards and check out our weekly flyer on menards.com for more great deals happening now.
Save big money at Menards.
Vince Vetrano for Hunt's Flooring in Greenfield. Still time to remodel ahead of the holidays. In the Vetrano home, we're going new hardwood floors before Thanksgiving, and we can get it done because we're working with this local family-run business, Hunt's Flooring. It's Phil and Tony and the team over there always looking for great deals on carpet, vinyl, and hardwood. They buy when the deals are hot, they pass the savings on to you, and they've got everything in their own huge warehouse on Highway 100. Hunt's is ready for your project as soon as you are. Hunt's Flooring in Greenfield, huntsflooring.com.
You know what it's like to go through something you thought would be a cakewalk, but it turned into a crucible. What started as a formality became formative. It changed you. And if you know what that's like, then you can relate to what happened to God's people in the book of Numbers. And maybe you can learn something by listening to their story.
Dr. Michael Ziegler, this week on The Lutheran Hour.
The Lutheran Hour, Sunday mornings at 6:30 on WTMJ.
Potential is like God's love. It lives within everyone and shows us that we are made for more. At Aug Prep, faith ignites excellence in academics, the arts, athletics, and every aspect of our lives. Students don't just realize their full potential, we learn to soar. The #1 K-12 school in Milwaukee is expanding to the North Shore and is now enrolling grades K4 through 6th and 9th. Aug Prep North, made for more. Apply today at augprep.org.
Good Karma Brands is proud to be an equal opportunity employer, providing equal employment, development, and advancement opportunities to all teammates and applicants. To learn more about careers with us, please send an email to talentacquisition@goodkarmabrands.com. That's talentacquisition@goodkarmabrands.com.
The Fox and Hound Supper Club is hiring qualified kitchen expediters, ensuring food quality is at its highest standard. And bussers. You'll make real money working nights and weekends. Parents, tell your kids, inquire today, start next week. It's the real deal. Contact the Fox and Hounds.
Time for WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all sports desk. Aaron Ashby, the lefty, will take the mound tonight after pitching 1 1/3 scoreless innings of relief in Saturday's win for the Brewers. Outfielder Jackson Churio questionable for tonight's game with a hamstring.
It's inconclusive, and it's not a serious hamstring strain, but it's not necessarily something that won't limit him. So we're going to kind of see how he feels. He's going to go through some testing, and if he feels anything, we're going to shut it down.
It's Brewers manager Pat Murphy. Coverage of tonight. Game 2 of the NLDS between the Brewers and Cubs gets underway at 7 o'clock on WTMJ. Bucks basketball tonight in Miami against the Heat. The preseason begins for both teams. Giannis is with the team in Miami. You can hear the game on 94.5 ESPN at 6:30. Football tonight. You've got the Jacksonville Jaguars hosting the Kansas City Chiefs.
Checking out the roads with your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. The crash that we were monitoring before in Milwaukee County has cleared, so that's some good news there. I do want to let you know about a couple of disabled vehicles that are down in Kenosha County solely because they are in heavy traffic areas, and it's taken traffic down, the speed just a tiny bit. 4194 South, the ramp from County E. We've got the right shoulder blocked there due to a car that's broken down. And then, not too far from that one, closer to the Pleasant Prairie area, 4194 south of the ramp from County C, right shoulder blocked in that case, also due to a disabled vehicle. Like I mentioned, though, the crashes that we were monitoring before in Milwaukee County, those have cleared. We do also have a couple of disabled vehicles that are now popping up in Sheboygan County. I-43 south, about a mile beyond the ramp from Wisconsin 42, right shoulder blocked in that case, and just a little bit up from that, disabled vehicle on the exit to Wisconsin 42 from I-43 south, also in Sheboygan County.
Well, it might be the end of summer. I'm not saying we won't hit the 70s again. That is certainly possible. And I don't know, may happen later this week or the weekend, but definitely a cooling off week after last week's warm temperatures.
And listen, I feel like this weekend, those were bonus days.
Beautiful.
Oh, gosh, it was just stunning. So if it happens, if this is really it, if fall is happening starting now, I think that's okay.
You know those signs that appear in factories, haven't had an accident in X many days,
yes.
Then you always hate to see when it's crossed out and, zero is put there. Haven't had rain in how many days? Do they have something like that in the weather department at TMJ4? I do wonder about these things. Lauren Larson joins us. Hi, Lauren.
Hey, happy Monday, guys.
Yeah, you got a counter back there. Haven't seen rain in X many days. What is that counter at?
No, we don't have an official counter, or we don't have a whiteboard. Maybe we should get a whiteboard because that would make it easier to answer this question, I guess.
You can see some real nice ones on Etsy. Etsy has some really great ones.
We haven't seen any rain so far this month, so it's been at least a week. Off the top of my head, I don't know the last time we had rain.
Yeah, I think it feels longer. That's the thing. But Lauren, we need some rain, don't we now?
We definitely do. And the rain that we're expecting here this afternoon and evening will help us. We need some rain, but it's really not going to be too impactful. It is, however, going to make sure that the roof is closed at AmFam Field here this evening, or even tonight. I guess it's a lot later than I was thinking it is. So
yeah, 8:08.
That's a bit of a bummer. It's a bit of a bummer, but we do need some rain.
Well, it has been 13 days. I've looked it up here now. So the 13 days, traceable amounts of rain here in the area. So it's been quite a while. It's been a nice stretch of time for the patio furniture and, of course, to spend time outside. What are you thinking about timing for today and tonight? Is it more of an evening thing, late evening, overnight thing? How are you looking at it?
Yeah, well, the chances kind of start here in the next couple of hours. Thinking even 3 and 4 is when they start, and then it's really scattered. We're seeing the chance for thunderstorms into early tomorrow morning. So starting around 3 or 4 p.m. and ending about 6 a.m. Tuesday. But it won't be a consistent rain. We're seeing really some pop-up showers and thunderstorms. Maybe some brief heavy rain, some thunder, some lightning can't be ruled out, and some gusty winds as well. We're not expecting severe weather, though.
Well, the good news is that Wisconsin people, Brewers fans are hardy. They're going to be out there tailgating no matter what. But it does kind of make you wonder with the timing of that, if it will impact how long. Maybe they say, okay, we don't have to get out there as early as we usually would as far as tailgating. What about tomorrow? Once we get past tonight and get that rain out of here, are we dry tomorrow?
Yeah, once that rain clears out early tomorrow, we can expect mostly sunny skies for Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, maybe another chance of rain on Friday, but we're still a few days out from that. And it definitely is going to feel like fall this week. I think you're going to wake up Wednesday morning with those temperatures in the 40s and 50s and look outside to a bright sunny day. Our high temperatures will only be in the low 60s. So definitely some weather that I think meteorologist Brendan Johnson is happy about. And honestly, I'm ready for it too. I was a fan of the sunny skies in 80s, but we do need a little bit of some fall taste in the air.
I got the mums out. Yeah, we got the mums out. The mum forecast says it's good weather for mums. A very thirsty plant, though. They would like the rain as well. But you do bring up an interesting point. So we're seeing temperatures kind of hovering in the 60s. Long range, Lauren, I'm not sure how far you look out here, but are the 70s back in play at all for the rest of this month? Or are we kind of done with that, do you believe?
No, I don't think we're done. I am looking at low 70s for this weekend. Hope that might be more of a hope cast where I want to hit 70 on Saturday and Sunday. But I wouldn't say they're done. There's definitely a couple models that pop us into the mid 70s at least 1 or 2 days here in the next couple of weeks. But I like you mentioned, I do think the 80s are in the rear view.
TMJ4 meteorologist, it's Lauren Larson joining us. We'll invest in one of those whiteboards for you, Lauren. We'll have it sent your way with a pumpkin spice something or other for Brendan, and we'll get you all taken care of.
Perfect. We will make good use of that. Awesome.
Sounds good. Yeah.
Thanks, Lauren.
13 days since rain. It's been great for the patio, right? If you're hanging out in the patio or on the boat like you were this weekend, no doubt. And it's been, I guess the lawn has been kind of dewy in the morning, so you're getting kind of that overnight stuff. It's been okay for plants. Lawn isn't drying out too much, but I'm sure the farmers wouldn't mind a little dose of rain.
Honestly, I don't know how many times I thought this weekend, wow, we are so lucky with these temperatures. I mean, you said on Friday we rented a Duffy boat and took it out on the river, and you would have thought it was July. And then you had Oktoberfest. I know a lot of people went to Oktoberfest. We went on Sunday to check it out. It moved to the Summerfest grounds, which is a big move for that local event. It wasn't as busy on Sunday, but I heard from the people, asked how it went. And Friday and Saturday, it was just packed. I mean, people were outside. They were enjoying it. And then it was a little hot for some people at the Brewers game. But it depends which side you're sitting on.
Well, we'll see what the tailgate forecast brings here for tonight. But maybe want to bring in an umbrella if you're headed out to the ballpark later today and this evening. It's 1:44 on WTMJ.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
Are you really that different than the rest of us?
We are. As a fiduciary, we always focus on what's best for our clients.
What services do you offer besides investing?
We have a team of specialists in financial planning, estate planning, and more.
Your clients rely on you for all that?
Yes, we ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Okay, but you still sell commission-based products, right?
No, because we believe that's a conflict of interest. We prioritize service over sales goals.
So, then how do your fees work?
We have a simple and transparent fee that's a percentage of our clients' portfolios. So we do better when our clients do better.
Wow, we're more different than I thought.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at fisherinvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Hey, Greg Matzek here. I want to tell you about Flanders Home Entertainment. If you've been watching the games, be it football, baseball, you know what I'm talking about, or maybe even movie night, and you're just not loving what you're seeing in front of you, connect with Flanders Home Entertainment. They can help upgrade your audio and video system. If you need a technology upgrade, Flanders, the locally owned shop here in southeastern Wisconsin, they are the folks to connect with. They got a beautiful showroom in West Allis and in Grafton. You can shop anytime at Flanders.com. Tons of things on sale, as a matter of fact, at Flanders. And you get that after-sales support along with the pre-sales support. The installation experts, they've got the right ideas and solutions to simplify and upgrade your home entertainment experience. And that might be as simple as finding the right cable and wires. That's right. Big or small, Flanders can help you out. It's locally owned Flanders here in southeastern Wisconsin. Guaranteed best prices, quality, top-notch service, the best brands. You know what I'm talking about. And so do they. Visit Flanders.com or one of their showrooms, West Allis and Grafton. Sound advice at the best price. Just press play.
Shop smarter with Higher Love Cannabis Company in Menominee, Michigan, just a few seconds across the Wisconsin border. Award-winning, organically grown, quality products you can trust. Don't settle for knockoffs in Wisconsin. Get the real deal at findhigherlove.com/CBD.
When I shop St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores, every time I come in, it's like a whole new store. It's because new inventory is arriving daily, all kinds of everything. And let me tell you, thrift store prices make buying easy, and helping others at the same time, that's icing on the cake. St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield, 23rd in Lincoln, and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee.
You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
Heart disease won't stop us. Diabetes won't slow us down. Allergies, high blood pressure, shoulder pain, cancer. Nothing will keep us from pushing Wisconsin ahead. Because with the Freighter and the Medical College of Wisconsin Health Network, forward progress is what we stand for. That means always pushing and always innovating. With new technologies and breakthrough treatments that make life better, whether we're sick or well. It means providing more convenience and more ways to receive medical excellence for all your health needs, for big and small. It means being there for you, our family, caring for yours. So let's keep raising the bar. Let's keep testing the limits of what medicine can do. Let's push ahead and make life here as great as it can be. Visit Freighter.com to find out how.
2-2 is on the way home. Rolled to first. It's a fair ball. Bowers has it, takes it to the bag, and game one belongs to the Brewers. 9-3 the final score. Freddie Peralta picks up his first career postseason win.
Oh, what a pleasing call from Jeff Levering over the weekend. Keep in mind, Jeff started his call of Saturday's win over the Cubs like this.
2-1 pitch. Swing and a fly ball hit to right. Back is Frelick. He's at the wall, and Bush hits a leadoff home run to give the Cubs a 1-0 lead.
Well, that didn't take long, did it?
No, I was still walking in. I always like to be in my seats for the first pitch, but it just didn't happen. It took us a little bit longer than we had planned to get into the parking lot in the back. It was just kind of slow going. So we're walking in, and I hear just the crowd erupting, and then I'm like, really? Did somebody get a home run already? Like that? But then the Brewers are right behind.
So a couple of takeaways from Saturday's game. Number one, it felt to me like one of the games the Brewers played last year against the Mets. I'm talking about the fan split here, right? So fans for the opposing team are typically concentrated around that third base dugout area, and that's where I would say the majority of Cubs fans were as like a group, right? Those are tickets offered to fans of the opposing team, and then maybe a few peppered about the stadium. Very similar to how I would say it was, distributed last year with the Brewers and Mets playing. So that's a good thing, right? Milwaukee fans holding onto their tickets, a lot of Brewers fans there drowning out the Cubs fans. But what's so amazing to me is that you had 42,000 people going crazy. Nobody's sitting, right? The game hasn't even started yet. Everybody's waving their rally towel, which you have. You got one of those as you entered the stadium.
I love it. It says Magic Brew. The slogan is so great. It's the ball and glove logo, yellow and blue, and it's so crisp. And you had Charlie Barons out there just revving people, hey, this is my state, this is my city, let's do this. And you had everybody just waving these towels. Yeah, I had to bring it. I had to pack it today, Greg.
Playoff energy at American Family Field. Then 4 pitches into the game, all of a sudden you're losing to the Cubs. Oh, come on. Right, like all of that, and all of it's like a gut punch early in that game. And then, all of a sudden, things start to roll back into the Brewers' favor.
Line drive left center. That one's headed towards the gap, and into the gap it goes. Terang will score. Contreras slides into second. It's 2-1 Milwaukee. 3 straight pitches. 3 straight doubles.
In the span of 7 pitches, not only did the Brewers have the lead, but Craig Counsell was instantly second-guessing his starting pitcher decision. The guy they started, Matthew Boyd, best pitcher the Cubs have, but he was also pitching on 3 days rest. Maybe he wouldn't be quite as sharp. How do you want to handle this? He's the best we got, but if he's not 100% because he just pitched a few days ago, what do? They opted to start the guy, and the Brewers shelled him. He didn't even get out of the first inning. That game was over after 2 innings. It was 9-1, and the air was sucked out of everybody who was wearing a Cubs piece of jersey, hat, whatever it was. That game was done.
You could see some Cubs fans leaving extra early for this game.
Well, drama-free playoff wins are a great thing if you're the home team, and in this case, the Milwaukee Brewers. So that continues tonight. But we did have a differing views of what happened to Jackson Chourio. So this is the other huge storyline here going into Game 2. I was in one of our broadcast booths where typically the Brewers Extra Innings program is broadcast from. So it's a little closer to the third base side. It's definitely to the third base side of home plate. So I got a view sort of up first base line. So Jackson legs out a ground ball, and he can fly, and he gets just beyond the base, and he starts to slow down, and he's just standing there. So all I'm seeing is Jackson Chourio's back with his hands on his hips, and I don't think people are really paying attention to him as much because the Brewers got another run on that play, and you're going bananas because all of a sudden it's 9-1. Like, holy smokes, how did this happen? And then Chourio walks back slowly to first base. Trainers come out, and everybody's like, oh, no, what happened to him? I was not surprised to see him leave the game, but I know you were watching him pretty closely as well.
Well, it's interesting because I didn't see exactly what happened when. I'm not sure if I was taking a bite of my hot dog with cheese curds on it. I'll be honest, I don't really ever have to have that again, but it's very Wisconsin.
Sure, well done.
But what I did see, all of a sudden, I looked because we were just a little bit down from the Brewers' dugout, so a little bit past that base right there. And all of a sudden, at one point, I looked and I see Churio. And he had his head down. I mean, he was kind of hanging his arms, hanging his head. And I could just tell, I think I said out loud, oh no. But then I was also like, what happened? Because I didn't see that exact moment. So I thought, oh no. So he's just kind of standing like that for a little bit. And I can just tell it's bad. And then all of a sudden you've got Pat Murphy who comes out. Some of the other coaches, they're discussing. And then all of a sudden, and it's interesting because he does walk off, right? He walks into the dugout.
Yep,
and
that was a good sign.
It doesn't look terrible because he's walking and you can't tell much, but that doesn't mean, you can walk on it, doesn't mean you can run on it. That's a whole different ball game. But he also, I can just visualize it right now as he was walking from that base to the dugout. He was looking up at the sky like, oh.
Not again.
Yeah.
Right?
I know. And so then we knew it wasn't going to be good, but hopefully it doesn't sound like it's terrible.
I don't think it's going to require a month off, and you don't have a month here. You've got about a month,
True.
But not a full month. You could do that during the regular season, sit him down, he comes back. Now, hopefully after a couple of days, maybe he plays today. This is a big question here. He was on the field yesterday doing some light running, did not swing as far as I know. Boy, I'd be kind of surprised to see him tonight. They got a day off tomorrow. And then you're looking at maybe 55-degree temperatures at Wrigley on Wednesday night. That is not the best for a tight muscle or anything that's kind of sore or ailing you in your musculoskeletal system here. So that's something to keep an eye on as well. The weather's not going to be 85 and sunny like it was over the weekend.
That wild weather, though. Mother Nature, I mean, just absolutely incredible. It was pretty. I actually was comfortable where we were because with the roof being closed just a little bit. And that's something on Friday I asked Rick Schlesinger because I knew it was going to be beautiful, but I also thought at some point, does it get too hot? And because of the sun, do they close it a little bit? And that's basically what they did is they did close it a little bit so it shaded the Brewers dugout. So I was comfortable. I know a lot of people were warm, but man, if you were sitting on the other side, the Cubs were baking. I had some friends who were like up in the 400 level where I swear the sun was just shining. And one of my friends told me that she actually the night before had ordered portable fans.
Oh, there you go.
Because they knew they were going to be hot. But yeah, here we go. It's starting to feel more like fall, and it's going to have a different impact.
Well, roof will be closed tonight. Just a mild threat of rain that could impact things, and it'll be cool enough, I suppose, where maybe you want that thing shut anyway. So no worry about shadows tonight.
Yeah.
Full-on night game here, 8:08 first pitch. You can hear it right here on WTMJ. And then you take the bus down to Wrigley for games 3 and 4 if necessary, and hopefully it's not.
You take the Brewers Express.
There, that's what it is.
Take
that's
the
what
Amtrak.
it is. 1:56, 2 o'clock news coming up in a minute.
Hey, WTMJ, Steve Scafidi here. Are you a member of the State of Wisconsin Pension Program? If so, you may have questions about your benefits and what they mean to your retirement plan. Join me along with Anna Wealth Management Director of Financial Planning Eric Strom and Senior Financial Planner Tom Burkholz on October 21st at 3:30 p.m. We'll discuss fundamentals, like how to look at your statement, and go deeper looking at case studies that may help relieve concerns and answer your questions about WRS. That's Tuesday, October 21st at 3:30 p.m. Register now. Visit WTMJ.com or events at AnnexWealth.com.
A new physician has joined the roster at Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. Dr. Derek Damrow. Originally from Sheboygan, Dr. Damrow earned his biochemistry degree from the University of Wisconsin-Madison and completed medical school at the Medical College of Wisconsin. He trained alongside a world-renowned upper extremity surgeon at the University of Florida. Dr. Damrow is now back in southeastern Wisconsin to provide specialized shoulder and elbow care through Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. Learn more or schedule an appointment at orthowisconsin.com.
Wisconsin's Afternoon News is here for you, bringing you the latest headlines with John McCure.
The best record in baseball, that's incredible. But I'm more impressed with the fact that the Brewers are celebrating their 4th division title in 5 years. That's a pretty big deal.
It's a huge deal.
And diving into the details with Julia Fellow.
Tylenol was released in 1893, and we're talking about 1 in 31 may have autism.
Tune in to Wisconsin's Afternoon News, where your day's story unfolds. Weekdays from 3 to 6 p.m. Only here on WTMJ.
There's no better place to catch the natural wonders of fall than Lake Geneva. Stroll a lakeshore path in a kaleidoscope of color. Explore winding rustic roads. Take a scenic boat tour or glide through a forest on a zip line. At night, stargaze from a historic observatory, cozy up to a campfire, or have a cocktail on the patio. Enjoy the seasonal bounty at orchards, wineries, and farms with flavors to savor. Plan your fall getaway now at visitlakegeneva.com. Lake Geneva. It's always been the place for fall fun.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
Yeah, a little bit chill in the air. The heating season is on the way, and before you fire up that furnace, let's make sure it's ready to go and to serve you through the winter months. Vince Vitrano here for Urban Heating and Cooling, talking with my HVAC guy, Ryan Sopa. Good to see you, Ryan.
Good to see you, Vince. Thanks for having me.
Hey, before we get to the furnace stuff, I do want to thank you. My wife had called you this summer with air conditioner need at her business, and you know, what I really appreciate is you could have rung us up on a whole bunch of charges. Well, we need to replace this. We need to, you were in for a couple of $100, got a little bit more life out of that older unit.
Yeah, so our goal at Urban Heating is not to always replace. That's not our first goal. Our goal is to get you up and running. And if we can save that unit, we want to save that unit until you're ready to replace.
All right, let's look ahead to the heating season. What do folks need to keep in mind right now as we're getting set to fire up the furnace?
I mean, first things always is maintain your filter. So depending on the size of your filter, keep it replaced every 1 to 3 months or every 3 to 6 months, depending on size. And then we got to start looking at maintenance.
Okay, so something I've finally started doing in adulting is actually having someone like yourself come out once a year and do that furnace tune-up just to make sure that we're ready to go. What I really appreciate about that is, especially with an older unit, you want to make sure, is this thing going to last me the winter? And there are things that you can do and tweak to make sure that it will.
Correct. I mean, the first thing with maintaining your furnace or your air conditioner is ensure efficiency, and then ensure safety. Doing a maintenance on your furnace by inspecting, cleaning, and adjusting it is going to ensure that your furnace is going to work properly the rest of the season.
And what do you charge folks for that?
So our price is $99.99 when we're running our special until November.
And then obviously we get to a point where at some point you got to replace that furnace. And I know you offer financing options if folks have a bigger project or even a full replacement.
We do. So financing is super easy to apply by us. We have it right on our website. You can apply for it on the website, and they'll okay you that day typically.
Thanks, Ryan. That's Ryan Sopa, Urban Heating and Cooling, urbanheatingandcooling.com.
I'm WTMJ's Sandy Max. What makes senior living at Three Pillars so special? Let's hear from my friend Bill.
We didn't want to be sitting in our house alone. And I was glad because I didn't have to do all the chores around the house that I was sick of doing. I decided to get involved in a lot of the different activities like the theater group. I run TED Talks once a month. I'm chairman of the library committee. The other things I like about Three Pillars is the outdoor things. And there's a beautiful fishing pond. It's just a great, great place to live.
Schedule a tour today at threepillars.org.
Alleviate your pain, rejuvenate your life.
Rejuvenex.com. Two rivals, one stage. It all comes down to October.
Breaking ball, hit high, hit deep, left center.
It's Game 2 of the NLDS as the Brewers host the Cubs in Milwaukee.
3 for 3 for Jackson Chourio. It's 9-1.
Our Brewers Radio Network game day coverage starts tonight at 7:30. October runs through the home of the Brewers. News Radio 620, WTMJ, Milwaukee.
It's 2:01. I'm Greg Matzek. This is Wisconsin's Midday News for Monday, October 6th. Your top story, defending the decision to send in the National Guard.
I'm Jessica Tighe. They still don't have the votes to end the shutdown.
On and off showers this evening, mostly cloudy, a low of 55. Slight chance for AM showers on Tuesday, then becoming mostly sunny with a high of 66. 71, clouds starting to roll into downtown Milwaukee at 2:02. From the WTMJ breaking newsroom, a federal judge blocks the Trump administration from sending any state's National Guard to Oregon. In the state of Illinois and the city of Chicago, filing a lawsuit today seeking to block President Trump's federalization and deployment of the National Guard.
The White House insists President Trump is within his authority to deploy National Guard troops to Portland, despite a federal judge's ruling this weekend that the administration has ignored, quote, the facts on the ground. Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt.
The president is using his authority as Commander-in-Chief, U.S. Code 12406, which clearly states that the president has the right to call up the National Guard in cases where he deems it's appropriate.
Leavitt said the White House is appealing the decision and expects a hearing quickly. She said the White House is is confident it will win on the merits of the law. Karen Travers, ABC News, the White House.
An additional round of voting in the Senate is expected to start soon on a bill to reopen the government, but it is not expected to pass. Both sides of the aisle continue to trade blame for the continued shuttering of the government. CBS's Nicole Killian is on Capitol Hill.
Speaker Johnson kind of reiterated what we've also heard from Leader Thune over the past couple of days, that the ball is really in the court of Senate Democrats. They feel at this point they hold their cards. You know, there's a 60-vote threshold in the Senate. Most Republicans, with the exception of Rand Paul, have supported this continuing resolution, but they need more Democrats to come on board.
A new CBS News poll shows more than 30% of Americans blame both sides equally for the shutdown.
New data shows over 2,000 homes throughout Milwaukee County sustained major damage or were destroyed by historic flooding in August.
Data from the Office of Emergency Management shows a significant number of those homes were on Milwaukee's north and west sides. Almost 4,000 homes were assessed by the county and other partner agencies after the August 9th and 10th flooding. FEMA has already approved over 3,500 applications and granted more than $26 million in financial aid across Milwaukee County. The deadline to apply for FEMA assistance is November 12th. Neil Doyle, WTMJ News.
One person is dead after a head-on crash in the village of Summers. The Kenosha County Sheriff's Office says alcohol and drugs may have been a factor. The crash happened just before 6:30 last night along County Highway E. Investigators say a pickup truck appears to have crossed the center line and hit an SUV head-on. The driver of the SUV died right there at the scene. The pickup driver was taken to the hospital with severe injuries.
Milwaukee Public Schools students learning life-saving lessons inside the Survive Alive House. The program has reached more than 400,000 students since 1992. Educators say it continues to make a lasting impact. Mayor Cavalier Johnson at Fire Safety Week.
We've heard that there's been like 2,000 fires that start because of those sort of batteries. So you guys, especially you guys, because you guys are young and you use a lot of electronics, you got to make sure that you tell your parents and everybody else around you that you cannot throw those things in the regular trash. Okay?
Community leaders and MPS will continue to make fire safety second nature for every MPS student. Time for news about your money. The WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. And the Dow continues to be in the red today, down about 80 points at 46,679. NASDAQ is flying, up about 200 points at 22,973. S&P 500 up about 30 points this afternoon at 6743. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Financial planning at every level. For details, visit annexwealth.com.
I've got the rally towel out. We're whipping it. Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 2:05.
Some things are fine to buy from a vending machine, but despite what a certain national online company tells you, a car is not one of them.
Let's see. Cheese doodles, Mr. Nougat bar. Oh, here we go. Green 4-door hatchback. We're gonna need some more quarters.
Sure, they make it seem convenient, but it won't be so convenient if you have a problem with the vehicle you buy. And if it's after 7 days, good luck. Adam member dealers also let you search online, and unlike those national companies, you get to see the vehicle in person and test drive it before you buy it. You also have the assurance that the vehicle's been thoroughly tested. And if any issue does come up, your local Adam member dealer is right here to service it and can also provide low financing and top dollar for your trade. Think about that before you take the chance with their so-called vending machine.
What? It's stuck. No! Oh, rats.
Start your search at adamm.com.
How do you want your backyard to look? New deck, patio, shade area, pergola, fire pit, in-ground pool, outdoor kitchen, or all of it? Let Outdoor Living Unlimited design and build your space, and everyone will scream wow when they see your new backyard. Stop by Outdoor Living Unlimited's resourceful Waukesha showroom or visit OutdoorLivingUnlimited.com.
Acumen Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLSConsumerAccess.org, number 255368.
Don't settle for a flimsy bank pre-approval. Get the pre-approval listing agents and sellers recognized as better than the rest. The rock-solid guaranteed pre-approval from AccuNet. Get yours by clicking on the blue button at ACCUNET.com.
Time for WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports Desk. Lefty Aaron Ashby will take the mound for the Brewers tonight after pitching 1 1/3 scoreless innings in Saturday's win over the Cubs. Game 2 of the NLDS gets rolling with coverage at 7 o'clock here on WTMJ. Meanwhile, outfielder Jackson Churio questionable for tonight's game with a hamstring issue.
It's inconclusive, and it's not a serious hamstring strain, but it's not necessarily something that won't limit him. So we're going to kind of see how he feels. He's going to go through some testing, and if he feels anything, we're going to shut it down.
And the Bucks begin the preseason tonight in Miami against the Heat. You can hear that game on 94.5 ESPN beginning at 6:30. And Week 5 of the NFL season wraps up tonight in Jacksonville, Florida, with the Jaguars hosting the Kansas City Chiefs.
Checking out the roads with your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. We do have a new incident in Milwaukee County. It's on 4194 South at Rawson Avenue. The right shoulder is blocked because of it. Can't tell exactly from the cameras what type of incident it is. Does not look like a crash necessarily. I see one car and then 2 emergency responders. Not much movement out there. Okay, I guess I do now see 2 troopers, it looks like, who are out on the side of the road. So this is possible that they're just helping out this car. Bottom line, it's an incident that is causing traffic to move a little bit slower. Brand new, 4194 South at Rawson Avenue. Right shoulder is blocked because of it.
Traffic is sponsored by the Amazing Mineshaft Restaurant in downtown Hartford.
Every Monday and Thursday, buy one pizza, get a second pizza absolutely free at the Mineshaft Family Restaurant in downtown Hartford. Google the Mineshaft today.
On and off showers this evening, mostly cloudy, a low of 55. Chance for some morning rain on Tuesday, then increasing sunshine with a high of 66. Sun stays out the rest of the week with temperatures in the low to mid 60s. 71 and mostly cloudy in Milwaukee at 209.
Live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios in downtown Milwaukee, it's Wisconsin's Midday News, making stories come to life. Now, here are your hosts, Greg Matzek and Jessica Tighe.
Time to raid the rally towel here. Time to wave the rally towel. That's not easy for me to say, but you got yourself one here from the game over the weekend.
I've been waving it. Do you feel the breeze over there?
I do, actually. It's quite nice here.
Oh, I just hit myself in the head with that one. Okay.
Well,
See, I told you it's like an arm exercise. After doing it for someone, you're like, ooh, getting a little tired there.
All right, well, Jessica's getting ready for game 2 in our studio here. First pitch scheduled for about 6 hours from right now. So I got to get through the rest of your day, and we'll help you get there.
Here's your top 2 at 2 on Wisconsin's Midday News.
Number 1, Showtime in prime time. The Milwaukee Brewers take on the Chicago Cubs tonight in Game 2 of the National League Division Series. Milwaukee leads that series 1-0 after Saturday's big win at home. First pitch tonight, it's a late one, 8:08. We're going to have some tired Brewers fans tomorrow. Aaron Ashby is tonight's starting pitcher. We talked with Brewers President of Business Operations, Rick Schlesinger, about the goals for this electric team.
We've had the fortune of being in the postseason 7 of the last 8 years, and obviously in 2018 we got to 1 game of the World Series, so that's our high water mark that we obviously want to pass.
Let's pass that mark and go all the way this season. Heads up, by the way, for those of you going to the ballpark tonight, looking like a roof closed game because of the rain that's in the forecast.
Number 2, the Senate is back in session. Just getting underway here moments ago, but the government shutdown that began October 1st continues, and no resolution in sight.
The Senate today will try to force another vote on a Republican proposal that does not include any of the Democratic demands, which are to reverse Medicaid cuts and also to extend those expiring Obamacare subsidies so health insurance premiums don't go up for millions of Americans. But at this point, these two sides are still at odds. They are only digging in, and there's no end in sight to this government shutdown.
It's ABC political correspondent Rachel Scott. Lawmakers at an impasse over funding bills, leaving hundreds of thousands of federal employees furloughed or even working without pay. In Wisconsin, about 18,000 federal workers. For those deeply affected by flooding in August, I was concerned about this. It does appear FEMA continues to work with those individuals who are impacted, but FEMA's funding could be exhausted in a prolonged shutdown. Meanwhile, the House will not return to session until October 13th. Mike Johnson putting some pressure for the end of the shutdown here right onto the Senate's back. Another vote is expected to take place about 4:30. It's 2:12 here on WTMJ. From the makers of Just a Bit Outside, the beautiful Brewers documentary chronicling every move of the 1982 team, comes another documentary featuring a group from Tokyo and their Packers fandom. Really interesting story and coming to a Marcus Theater near you. We'll go through it after this.
The people have spoken, and the results are undeniable. Ridgetop Exteriors delivers. We swept the People's Choice Awards. Best roofing, best siding, best windows, and best overall home improvement company. That's not just winning, that's setting the standard with expert craftsmanship, top materials, and service that keeps homeowners coming back. 4 categories, 4 wins, 1 name. Ridgetop Exteriors, your only choice for home exteriors. Visit ridgetopexteriors.com and experience the difference today.
Ridgetop Exteriors.
Hey, Greg Matzek here. You could win big this October at Potawatomi. They've got the Bird Bash game show going on all month long. Your chance to win $50,000 in cash. Play with your Potawatomi rewards card for entries. There will be prize drawings on Thursdays in October. Plus, your play also earns you a shot at the $300,000 December season finale. It's called Bird Bash, happening all month long here at Potawatomi. For more details, visit potawatomi.com/birdbash.
Well, we decided to develop our own mattress line just, I think, purely from a quality standpoint again.
We wanted to go the opposite way the industry was going. The industry was cheapening things, and we didn't believe in that.
Ben and Arvid Huth, brothers and owners of Penny Mustard Furnishings.
The entire mattress industry has gone to one-sided. We still believe, and I know in my heart, that a two-sided is going to last you longer. You can get more comfort out of it.
That's the reason that we put higher density foam in the mattresses, is so that they're comfortable for a longer period of time. It goes back to just wanting people to be happy, not now, but 5 years from now, 10 years from now. I want them to look back and say, wow, I bought that a long time ago and I'm still really happy with it. That's true in our mattresses, it's true in our furniture. We don't want you to buy something and 5 years from now, you're like, oh, it's falling apart.
10 years from now, the customer shouldn't have to replace the mattress because it no longer supports them.
They can, but they don't have.
Right, and that's how we build it.
See more at pennymustard.com.
15, 20 years from now, that mattress is still going to have good support.
Somebody can still use it.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, keep an eye out on some rain peppering the forecast later tonight. On and off showers are possible with a low of 55 degrees. Some morning showers are possible on Tuesday, then mostly sunny in the afternoon, a high of 66. We kind of hover in that mid-60s range for the bulk of the week here. Wednesday, the coolest day on the schedule here with a high of 60, but plenty of sunshine Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. 71, mostly cloudy in Milwaukee at 2:15. From the creators of Just a Bit Outside, the documentary story of the 1982 Milwaukee Brewers and the city's love of that team, comes No Packers, No Life, another documentary film highlighting a deep alliance to the team in Japan. It also covers a group's first trip to Lambeau Field.
We're wandering Tokyo, and I see a guy with a Packers jersey on. And I'm like, no way. I just quietly say, go Pack, go. And he shouts back, go Pack, go! The Japanese Packer cheering team.
Packers number 1.
I love Packers. No Packers, no right. Insanely passionate to a degree which probably most people from Wisconsin aren't. Wisconsin! I said, you guys are welcome to come to a Packer game anytime.
I couldn't believe that.
Why? And who are you?
The Green Bay way is to host, and we say, okay, come with us. We'll show you a good time.
We want them to experience the Green Bay way.
This is Green Bay! Go, Pack,
go! Wisconsin is human. The one team in the NFL that's owned by the people.
It gives people a connection that no other team offers.
No Packers, no life.
Pretty cool stuff, and debuting at Marcus Majestic Theaters on Thursday. It'd be October 17th will be the day for that. I guess that is a Thursday, so we're looking forward to that. The film inspired by the meeting of producer Ty Morse with the Japanese fan group in Tokyo. And Ty joins us in our studio right now. Well, what does that mean to you, just listening to that, minute 20 long trailer?
It's funny because I've listened to it so many times now, but I still get goosebumps just because it's been such a long journey. And I just think the story continues to resonate. Just every time I think about, the journey that we've been on and just how passionate those people are.
So this follows the Japanese Packers cheering team. We got a little hint of it right there in that trailer, but how did you happen upon this group?
I've been to Japan, I don't know, 100+ times, and and in Tokyo, I mean, you have 40 million people, and on any block there's maybe 100 bars, and just this one time we happened to turn into this bar, and in the corner I see a Packer jersey. I'd never seen that in my life in all the trips to Tokyo, and you heard it in the trailer there. I literally just kind of go back, go. And this guy turned around. And all of a sudden, what ensues is a conversation. He didn't speak very much English, and I don't speak very much Japanese. And so it was just a conversation of player names back and forth. And as we're saying player names back and forth, these guys, like guys and gals, start coming out of the woodwork in jerseys. And that was the Japanese Packers cheering team, I later learned.
Amazing. So it considered a de facto Packers bar somewhere in Tokyo. But, this is years ago where this started, right? You had this encounter at a bar. And here we are now in 2025, and you got a movie. So you must have been to Japan a number of times in the process. So talk about when this all started and when you thought to yourself, I got to make a movie about these people.
It was 7 years ago, but as it was happening, I'm like, no one's going to believe this. I can't wait to get back to the hotel and call my friends in Green Bay. And right then, I was like, we got to share this story. And luckily, somebody actually had a camera as we were meeting. Somebody was filming from their group, I think. They're like, here's somebody from Wisconsin. And then we were like, we want to bring them. Let's document this so we can share this experience with the world. But like you said, that was 7 years, multiple trips. They've actually come here 3 times now.
They have such infectious energy, as you could hear as we were playing that trailer. So how did you make that really come to life without it feeling gimmicky?
Well, I have to give all the credit to Craig Benzine, who's actually the director of the film. He's just a brilliant director, and I think there's 2 parts about it. Making a film is one thing, and Craig made this film, and it's beautiful, and he captured the humanity in it. But at the same time, their passion is so genuine. It's such a genuine, like, there is no gimmick about it. This is what they live and breathe. And it's odd to us because most of them have never even been to America. So it's just that human passion is what you see coming through, and it's so genuine.
So how did you get him to Green Bay, and how did you make that experience so first class? Because you could hear Mason Crosby's voice in that trailer, so you had a chance to meet with them when he was still playing, and you got a behind-the-scenes access. What was that all like?
Well, I mean, the first part was convincing them that we were just good people wanting to bring them here to have fun, because in Japan, they're very private. So we're like, no, you don't have to worry about anything. We'll take care of everything. We just want to show you a good time. That's literally what we did. We got transportation. We put them in. I mean, I had my friends who I grew up with, the Grant family and the Demerit family. They hosted them in their homes. So we put them in homestays. We got a bus taking them around. And then we just had wonderful people at the Packers. I had reached out and I said, we're bringing these guys. And they were just amazing, just like Wisconsin people are, just like you would expect of the Packers. They arranged stadium tours. And then my buddy Jay Demerit's really good friends with Mason. And it was just, it was a once in a lifetime experience for all of us.
I think about, you hear it so many times. I know I've said it. There are Packers fans all over the world. Well, wow, does this show it? Is there also a lesson to be had here? Because sometimes I'll say, because I'm a huge Packers fan, my mom probably even bigger. When you watch football, especially the Packers, I feel like it's more than a game. It's about community. It's about family. It's about friends. It's about cheering for something that you all are passionate about. Is that what you really see in this?
That's exactly what you see, but you also see I think it really highlights who we are in Wisconsin and what the team's about. I mean, say there's a team owned by the people, but we in Wisconsin, we love being with people. We love the community. We love celebrating and sharing. So you have these people from the other side of the world who came and were welcomed with open arms. And then you have the entire community supporting them. So this whole experience, they're supported by people I grew up with. And then we're helped along doing this with the Packers. And now it's being released by Marcus Theaters, which is who I grew up going to see movies in their theaters. So it's all the way down. It's that community and that it's just amazing.
I want to give you the dates here and be accurate with it. October 15th, that's the actual world premiere night. But the film's going to have a wider release in Marcus theaters across the state beginning October 17th. So Marcus theaters in Green Bay, Madison, La Crosse, Milwaukee, wherever you find a Marcus theater, you could expect to see this roll out. Will anybody be in town for the premiere from Japan?
We have, we're working on some surprise appearances right now. So, there's a lot of logistics involved, but yes, I would say that that's the current plan.
I see a little twinkle in his eye every day. I see a little twinkle in his eye there.
We got to have some surprises.
Right? Hey, speaking of surprises, was there anything that when they came over here, this group from Tokyo comes over here up to Lambeau Field that they were just shocked about?
I literally think they were shocked at how embraced they were by everyone. There's a scene in the movie, they're just in the parking lot tailgating, and everyone is coming up to them and being like, where are you guys from? They were blown away by what the Packer community and Wisconsin community is like. And then they were also blown away and shocked by being brought into people's homes. In Japan, you don't go into people's homes. That does not happen at all. That's a very rare experience. So to go stay in somebody's home and basically sit down and have meals at the table and talk about the Packers and have a beer, like this was something that never occurs in Japan.
Yeah, pretty amazing scene. Yeah, right. Throw on a cheese head, but also be part of a proper Packers tailgate, which I'm sure they were able to enjoy.
Yeah. And to be able to just, meet players and, they got to hold a Super Bowl ring. It was just amazing.
I feel a trend here between just a bit outside, now no Packers, no life. Do we see, might there be another movie down the road about Wisconsin sports?
Yeah. The Admirals need one, right?
They all need one.
Yeah, the Bucs. Yeah, come on. We got plenty.
Oh, the Bucs. Yeah, that story tells itself, right?
This is such a cool story that you've been able to tell. My only experience with something similar was on a trip to Europe that my wife and I did about a year ago. So we, as part of our trip, we're in Switzerland and did one of the tourist things. We're on top of, a mountain in Switzerland overlooking some beautiful water. And there was a group of Japanese tourists all decked out in Harley leather. And it was a motorcycle gang from Japan. They were riding their Harleys through Switzerland. And again, similar to your situation, they didn't speak English. I don't speak Japanese. But Harley Davidson and Milwaukee. And then it was a lot of pointing and so I'm taking pictures with them. If I only had the vision to bring that to Milwaukee and give them a tour of the museum and get on bikes down at the plant or something like that, this is somewhat of an equivalent.
Did you get their contact info? It can still be done.
There's one person I was able to find. I have to look back to see if I could find it, but that's the kind of passion that you're able to find. And the thought process is, well, how do you know Harley? How did this become a thing for you? When did it grow? And a similar story could be told here.
Yeah, I think the Japanese culture is so unique. It is my favorite culture on the planet, and it's just they are in the workday. Everything's behind. The emotions are kept behind, but then they find something they love and it comes flying out like the deepest passion because they keep so much reserved. So
what was different about this one for you? Because this is not your first movie.
I think the absolute impossibility of it, that it was so random. There was nothing planned, right? There was no, here's the storyline, here's what I'm going to Japan to do. It was literally, and the encounter could have just been, oh, great, you're a Packer fan. But all of a sudden, they were so passionate, and I'm like, oh, how many times have you been to America? And they're like, never. Well, you've never been to America? You've never been to a Packer game? And they were there to watch a replay of their favorite game of the season.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
It's like fate, because had you not walked by those people at that moment, we may not have a movie.
That's it. That's what was so different about it. And then the organic process. There was never any script. This was really, let's just hang out, let's film. And then, again, Craig, the director, took that 7-year story and molded it into something.
From a simple encounter at a bar in Tokyo to Marcus Theaters showing the movie. It premieres October 15th and a rollout throughout all Marcus Theaters in the state of Wisconsin. Check your listings on that for No Packers, No Life. Ty Morris, one of the producers, kind of the brains behind the operation based upon your travels. Such a cool story, Ty. Thanks for sharing it with us. We'll look forward to this.
Thanks so much for having me.
Can't wait to see it.
Our pleasure. It's 2:27. News is coming up.
I'm John Merck here with Dr. Jesse Bowens, an orthopedic hip and knee surgeon with the Orthopedic Hospital of Wisconsin. Dr. Bowens, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you for having us.
I'm really interested in your area of expertise at OHAU. It's hip and knee replacement, and specifically robotic-assisted knee replacement surgery. It's state-of-the-art. It's incredible. Tell me what makes the robotic part of this such a great option.
Yeah, John, it's a really exciting time for orthopedics. Before, traditional knee replacement just kind of relied on cutting jigs and a naked eye to really shape the knee to receive the knee replacement implant. Robotic-assisted knee replacement relies on a CT scan that learns the patient's anatomy, so you have that information available for you before you do the surgery. It allows you to use that CT scan to customize the surgery to better fit the patient during the actual operation, leads to better accuracy and more reliable results.
What about post-op? A lot of people worry about their range of motion and how fast they get it back and the work that goes into doing that part of it. Does the robotic aspect aid in making that part of the recovery better?
There are studies that do demonstrate that it does enhance the postoperative recovery, lead to better postoperative motion.
Orthopedic Hospital of Wisconsin has the best of everything. They have the best imaging, the best physical therapy. It's not just about the surgery. Can you talk about the importance of having top-tier physical therapy, state-of-the-art imaging, the other things that go along with surgery?
Well, all this really ties into a better outcome for the patient. Getting that patient up the day of surgery is really critical. Getting them walking with the best type of physical therapist that we have to offer, that all gets them a better jump start at the time of surgery. I think what's really paramount at the orthopedic hospital is just how excited everyone is to sort of be there and take care of the patients in front of us.
Here's what you need to do. This is very simple. Go to the website, ohow.com. It's Orthopedic Hospital of Wisconsin. So the website is ohow.com. Request an appointment right there. You hit that button and start your journey to feeling better. Dr. Jesse Bowens, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
Saving money on your exterior painting project at Menards. Pristine is Dutch Boy's most durable exterior paint and primer in one. With its Rain Rinse technology, Rain naturally washes away dirt and grime. Plus, it resists cracking and peeling, making it perfect to withstand the harshest weather conditions. Saving money on pristine exterior paint now at Menards. Plus, check out our weekly flyer on menards.com for more great deals happening this week.
Save big money at Menards.
Something exciting is happening at St. Kate the Arts Hotel. On the second floor, you'll find the Studio Kitchen and Cocktails, Milwaukee's destination for bold flavors, fresh sushi, seasonal entrees, and cocktails crafted with care. Start your day with a breakfast that fuels you, stop in for dinner that sparks conversation, or linger late into the evening with drinks designed to inspire. With flavors and drinks for every mood, the Studio is the perfect place to gather, celebrate, and connect. Be boldly social. The Studio Kitchen and Cocktails, now on the second floor at St. Kate the Arts Hotel.
It's 2:30. I'm Greg Matzek. This is Wisconsin's Midday News. Your top story, identifying the driver of a deadly crash.
I'm Jessica Tighe, being more transparent on those ticket fees.
On and off showers possible tonight. A mostly cloudy evening, a low of 55. It's currently 70 and mostly cloudy in Milwaukee.
ABC News, I'm Brian Clark. The White House's federal troops need to be sent to Chicago to protect federal immigration agents, but the governor of Illinois, J.B. Pritzker, says
there is no invasion here. There is no insurrection here. And local and state law enforcement are on the job and managing what they need to.
He and the mayor filed a lawsuit to try to stop the deployment. A federal judge in Oregon over the weekend blocked the Trump administration from deploying the National Guard to Portland. The government shutdown continues. The Senate expected to vote today on a bill to reopen the government, but it does not include Democratic demands to reverse Medicaid cuts or extend insurance subsidies. The acting CDC director says he's calling on vaccine makers to separate the MMR vaccine into separate shots, echoing a suggestion last month from President Trump that health experts say could be ineffective with no benefit. And indirect talks have begun in Egypt, focusing at ending the Israel-Hamas war. This is ABC News.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time is 2:31. Identifying the man who died in a crash and car fire on the northwest side in Milwaukee. 18-year-old Chase McCune speeding when his car hit a concrete barrier near 91st and Bradley Road. It happened Friday night. The car then flipped onto its roof and caught fire. McCune died at the scene.
The door driver charged with murdering a man from Canada gets more time before his preliminary hearing. 35-year-old Luis Cruz Burgos is in custody for first-degree reckless homicide. He's accused of shooting and killing 32-year-old Giovanni Robinson, also known as Mike, in Sheboygan Falls. Investigators say Robinson was walking home from a bar with friends and tried to offer Cruz Burgos money to give them a ride. There was a disagreement over the price, and a short time later, prosecutors say Cruz Burgos fired a shot at Robinson, hitting him. The court says it needs more time to assign Cruz Burgos a public defender.
Governors from around the Great Lakes gathering in Quebec to discuss new efforts on trade, transportation, and tourism. Wisconsin Governor Tony Evers.
Whether it's environmental issues, infrastructure, economy, you name it, we have made great progress forward. I'm concerned about that progress, too. We're in an area of uncertainty as a country and as a world.
The regional leaders also talked about water usage related to new data centers in Wisconsin and regional economic development.
A new bill would end extra fees and price inflation for concert tickets.
Named after Taylor Swift, the Swifty Act, introduced by State Senator Kelda Royce, would put up boundaries on the ticketing industry in Wisconsin. If passed, ticket retailers and resellers would have to reveal price disclosure, refunds, and ticket transferability to consumers. Similar bills have been introduced this year in other states. Sean Brunda, WTMJ News.
A court ruling against the WIAA has cleared Living Word Lutheran's international soccer players to compete.
The WIAA's eligibility rules left the 4 students sidelined for weeks. Their coach and guardian says the system needs reform.
The more cases we have, the stronger the impact will become, and more schools will start probably joining hands about making sure the WIAA is more accountable to them than what they are right now.
Coach Oswald Buechwa also says the WIAA should show more empathy.
For example, if a kid gets recruited, which is a violation, in a 16-year-old kid doesn't know any better. So, okay, then punish the coach or the school itself, but don't punish the kid himself. To me, that's not fair. You're not really helping the kid.
Nazir Spencer, WTMJ News.
Sports, traffic, and weather are next. We're looking for 2 wins in a row from the Brew Crew. It's 2:34.
When people think sleep apnea, they think CPAP. Now at Advent, we do all we can to help sleep apnea sufferers avoid the CPAP machine. And most sleep apnea sufferers who come to Advent are going to be able to avoid a CPAP altogether. Our unique Advent approach using simple in-office solutions can get your nose working and throat open all under one roof. You see, the root of every snoring and obstructive sleep apnea problem lies within the throat, nose, or both. At Advent, we know when we get the nose and throat working properly, most snoring and sleep apnea problems will subside. And we have the most simple and convenient, ultra-effective in-office solutions that can do just that. And this is why people have traveled by planes, trains, and automobiles from corners of the world you would never think of to find the sleep apnea and snoring relief you won't find elsewhere.
Go to adventknows.com to schedule your appointment, because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better. AdventKnows.com. Most insurance accepted.
WTMJ's Vince Vitrano talking with Dr. Mike Nolte at Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. Doc, a lot of people are hesitant to visit a surgeon for spine care.
The good news is that the vast majority of patients that I see and the majority of conditions that I can see can be successfully treated without surgery. And I don't want patients to think that just because you're seeing a spine surgeon means that you're going to be signing up for surgery. We talk about, in my clinic, kind of a plan A, a plan B, and a plan C.
Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin, there is a difference. orthowisconsin.com.
Enjoy life at Capri Communities.
Well, it's breakfast with the boys, and then bingo is at 3 in the afternoon. I lost that super lady I lived with for 60 years, but have found a home and doing well. The accommodations, the facilities, it's been a pleasure, and I hope to hang around a couple of more years anyhow.
Enjoy life at Capri Communities.
It's Oktoberfest at Fleet Farm, with big fun in store for the whole family. Don't miss our Toyland opening at 7 a.m. Saturday, October 11th, where the first 125 customers will get our free annual Toyland toy. Along with toys, kids can get their hands on some real big rigs at our Touch a Truck event from noon till 3. And be sure to enter our Pretzel Count contest for a chance to win a Fleet Farm gift card. Stop in and celebrate Oktoberfest with us all month long. It's our way of thanking you for shopping Fleet Farm.
You've still got it, but your immune system weakens as you age, making it hard to fight flu, pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Get started with your no-hassle refi checkup by clicking on the blue button at Accunet.com.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports Desk. A couple of big storylines for the Brewers heading into Game 2 of their NLDS series with the Cubs. First and foremost, lefty Aaron Ashby is going to take the mound after pitching an inning and a third scoreless innings in Saturday's win. Ashby is a reliever. He'll get the start tonight. And the Cubs typically feature a lineup dominated by lefties near the top. We'll see if Craig Counsell makes any changes and how far Ashby goes. Meanwhile, outfielder Jackson Cheerio questionable for tonight's game, dealing with that hamstring issue.
It's inconclusive, and it's not a serious hamstring strain, but it's not necessarily something that won't limit him. So we're going to kind of see how he feels. He's going to go through some testing, and if he feels anything, we're going to shut it down.
Coverage of tonight's game begins at 7 o'clock on WTMJ. Lineup not yet out. We'll keep an eye on that. Not sure if it'll be out here before we get done with the show here at 3 o'clock. The Bucs begin the preseason tonight in Miami, believe it or not. They take on the Heat. You can hear that game in 94.5 ESPN beginning at 6:30. And NFL Week 5 comes to a close tonight in Jacksonville. The Jaguars take on the Kansas City Chiefs.
Checking out the roads with your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. We do have a disabled vehicle that's in a rough spot in Kenosha County, 4194 South at the ramp from County E. The right shoulder is blocked because of what looks like a Jeep that is broken down. And it's in a tight spot, as I say, because you've got traffic that is merging onto the highway, and then the Jeep's right there. So traffic is slowing down, rightfully so. Good thing to do as it's going by. Heads up on that one, 4194 South at the ramp from County E. Right shoulder blocked because of that. Also, as we get up into Milwaukee County, not far from the airport, we're also still dealing with this, some sort of incident, 4194 South at Rawson Avenue. Didn't look like a crash. DOT is not calling it a crash. I'm not sure if they were just trying to help somebody, but we did have 2 emergency squads out at the scene. The car is now gone and out of there, and so is one of the emergency responders. Right now, just one still left at the scene, so I think give it a couple minutes, and that will be clear.
Scattered showers possible tonight in a low of 55. Not an all-night rain, or at least it shouldn't be, but not exactly sure where and when it's going to pop up. Keep an eye on the radar, especially if you're planning to tailgate before tonight's game. Might want to bring an umbrella with you or a tent out to the parking lot. Brewers and Cubs later tonight, 8:08 the first pitch. Overnight low 55 degrees, possible for morning rain tomorrow, then sunny and a high of 66. Sun remains in the equation here the rest of the week, but temperatures are cooling off anywhere from 60 degrees, the high on Wednesday, to 68 degrees, the high on Friday. It's 69 degrees, starting to cool off a little bit, mostly cloudy in Milwaukee at 2:39.
Well, the conversation over red light cameras is revving up. Milwaukee Mayor Cavalier Johnson is teaming up with Senator Dora Drake today to highlight tomorrow's big hearing on authorizing the use of cameras to enforce traffic violations. The mayor, you might remember this, is in favor of adding red light and speed cameras to the city, but they are currently prohibited under state law. But that could change. Tomorrow, there's this public hearing. It's happening at the Summerfest building at 11 a.m. And here on Midday, we dove into the effectiveness of these cameras during a discussion with the Insurance Institute of Highway Safety. We had talked about, remember, Greg, on Thursday, we were talking with Joel Brennan from the Greater Milwaukee Committee about this meeting that was coming up. And I guess my experience with red light and speed cameras in a totally different community, and this was more than a decade ago in the Quad Cities when I lived there. So I just really wanted to know the effectiveness of these cameras because I've seen them in action. I've seen how they work. I've also seen how they can fail because I once had a light go off, the camera go in the middle of the night when I was going to work, getting up at 2 o'clock in the morning and going to do the early morning news. And I was like, whoa, I'd gone through that camera so many times before. I knew I wasn't speeding. I knew I didn't do anything wrong. So I called to inquire about it. And when I did, I found out the numerous reasons that a camera could go off when you really didn't do anything wrong. So it's kind of interesting. So I just wanted to know, as now the city of Milwaukee is seriously looking at putting these cameras up for a 5-year pilot, how effective are they? So I found out that the Insurance Institute of Highway Safety has done a ton of stuff on this. There's just a ton of research. So we ended up talking with researcher Wen Hu, and here's what she said basically about the bottom line.
Both red light safety cameras and speed safety cameras improve safety for sure. So they reduce red running, they reduce speeding, and then, of course, the result is there's a reduction in severe and fatal injury crashes.
So basically, the IIHS saying bottom line is these help. they reduce crashes, and they reduce serious injuries and fatalities. They've done a ton of research on it. You can get into all the data, but that's the bottom line right there. If you look at, Greg, some of these numbers too, red light running happens frequently and is often deadly. So 2023 was the last research that they had. In 2023, 1,086 people were killed in crashes that involved red light running. Speeding gets even worse. Almost 12,000 deaths. 29% of all crash fatalities occurred in speed-related crashes in 2023. And this was something that I did a double take on this one if I can find it. They did some research where they called people and they were asking, just as you would have a normal survey, okay, you get a call, you pick it up. They were asking people about running red lights. So they did this national survey, telephone survey, by the AAA Foundation for Traffic Safety, and 81% of drivers said it is very or extremely dangerous to drive through a red light that had just turned red when they could have stopped safely. Well, yeah, of course it is, right? But this is what got me. 27% said they reported running a light like that in the past 30 days.
So that's one of those, you're coming up on the light, it's turned yellow, it's solidly yellow, you know it's going to red, and you look left, you look right, you make the decision, okay, I'm going. Technically speaking, you've run the red light, but you did it as safe as you possibly could. It's one of those situations, right? We've all had that where you're sort of in no man's land, and the general consensus is you should probably stop, but not everybody does.
They asked people about driving through a red light that had just turned red. And 27% of people reported doing so in the past 30 days.
So what's interesting to me, and we talked to Joel Brennan about this last week, is that it's a 5-year pilot program. What's being introduced here and being discussed at the hearing tomorrow morning is a 5-year pilot program. That seems like a long time for me to run a pilot program. You feel like you could probably do it in a year or 2 years, but nonetheless, a 5-year pilot program is being discussed. I've experienced the red light cameras, and I'm cognizant of where they're located in cities where I know they are located in. Most recently, Minneapolis. I've been familiar with them in the Scottsdale area, greater Phoenix area, for all the years I've covered the Brewers with spring training. I don't know if it's specifically meant for me when you think about reckless driving. And we think about, donuts and burnouts and just, people driving up onto the curb and trash being tossed out the window.
Yeah,
stuff
they
that
don't
we've
care about
seen.
the cameras, yeah.
Right, and they don't even have license plates in some respects. And they're not paying tickets if they are given a ticket for running a red light or speeding or something along the line, or you're passing where you shouldn't pass. But I don't think you can look at red light cameras and try and drive home its selling point as this monumental revenue generator. It probably does, to some degree, generate revenue. This, to me, is more about changing behaviors of those people who are admitting to running a red light while also knowing that it's the wrong thing to do. Right, and maybe controlling your speeding in that area. Maybe you do stop instead of, risk it and go when somebody could be crossing the street on a bike. And instead of going, 35 through that downtown street where it's tightly packed and you got people and things happening all over the place, you do stick to the speed limit of 30 or 25 or wherever it is. Changing behaviors is first and foremost. You might get some revenue out of it, but I can't imagine that is the major selling point with this.
Well, and you mentioned the 5-year pilot program. I also thought 5 years seems like a long time, but I asked the researcher at IIHS about that. I said, how quickly, when you've done your research, have you seen these cameras make a difference? She said almost immediately. I was going to say, okay, at least a year you can see it, maybe even 6 months. But she said, really, it happens almost immediately. I think and it makes sense. If you have people who are paying attention to what's going on in their neighborhood, they're paying attention to the news, and they know that those cameras are going up. As you mentioned, they are going to change their behavior. So I guess that makes sense. I also found this interesting. I found a map online at IIHS about taking a look at across the country, states where red light or speed safety cameras are currently used. And as we know, in Wisconsin, we're not using any of them, right? Because we can't under state law. And that's why they're having this big meeting tomorrow to possibly have that changed. But Iowa and Illinois both have speed cameras and red light cameras. Michigan is like us, using neither. Minnesota, using one, using the speed cameras. But it was just kind of interesting to look and see what communities are doing what.
Technology is there for it, no doubt about it. In Milwaukee, could be taking another step forward toward the implementation and legalization of red light cameras based upon the results of a hearing tomorrow. Another step in the process. It's 2:46 on WTMJ.
Are you struggling with stubborn weight gain during perimenopause or menopause? It's not your fault. Your changing hormones are forcing your body to store fat, no matter how little you eat or how much you exercise. But there's hope. The Milwaukee Weight Loss Proprietary Natural Program helps restore your metabolism and reset your hormonal balance so you can finally lose the weight and keep it off. No counting calories, no prepackaged meals, no injections, just real results. Join thousands of women who've discovered how to lose 10 to 20% of their body weight in just 8 weeks to feel like themselves again. Visit MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com now to schedule your free consultation.
Hey, it's WTMJ Steve Scafidi here. After a summer in the maintenance phase, I'm back in reduction mode. I'm going to lose 10 more pounds. That means I'll have lost 50 pounds since January. The best part, none of the intense workouts, no meals or shakes, none of the meds or injections. Many patients see 20 to 30 pounds come off in just a month or two. Book your free consultation today at 262-393-2334 or online at MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com.
There's no better place to catch the natural wonders of fall than Lake Geneva. Stroll a lakeshore path in a kaleidoscope of color. Explore winding rustic roads. Take a scenic boat tour or glide through a forest on a zip line. At night, stargaze from a historic observatory, cozy up to a campfire, or have a cocktail on the patio. Enjoy the seasonal bounty at orchards, wineries, and farms with flavors to savor. Plan your fall getaway now at visitlakegeneva.com. Lake Geneva. It's always been the place for fall fun.
Classic feeling. Your home is failing. Windows are old, roof looks horrible, siding is distressed. Even your front door fights you on everything. Hi, I'm Eric Brown, owner of Siding Unlimited, and I will be on the Fix It Show this Saturday from 8 to 9 a.m. 1 hour where you get to call in and ask about your failing home and how the professionals at Siding Unlimited can help you. Can't wait until Saturday? Bring your pictures to our Siding Unlimited showroom and let's chat. Start your home updating journey with Siding Unlimited at sidingunlimited.com.
Neck and back surgeries can be risky. Your spine deserves the best. Professional athletes trust Neurospine Center of Wisconsin, including baseball, where surgeon Dr. Brandon Rebels helped get Milwaukee's MVP back on the field for a stellar season. We can help you too, with the top nationally rated spine surgeons in the state for quality outcomes. You can trust the professionals at Neurospine Center of Wisconsin. Get a second opinion in just a few clicks. Now offered virtually throughout Wisconsin. Visit nscwi.com. Neurospine Center of Wisconsin. Your spine health is our passion.
Who doesn't need a seasonal wardrobe update? But who has the cash to always keep their wardrobe updated? Ladies, that's why you shop St. Vincent de Paul. Our women's clothing is always a highlight of our stores, and thrift store prices keep the costs low. It allows you to experiment and also find a hidden gem. St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield, 23rd in Lincoln, and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee.
Ooh, you're gonna love it. St. Vincent de Paul.
Chance of scattered showers tonight. Not an all-night soaker, that's for sure, but rain part of the forecast here in southeastern Wisconsin. Overnight low 55. Tomorrow's high 66 degrees. Going to be kind of cloudy with a chance of rain in the morning, then very nice. Sun should come out on Tuesday afternoon and stick around through Friday. High temperatures on Tuesday, 66. High on Wednesday, just 60 degrees. 62 the high on Thursday, 66 the high on Friday. It's 69 degrees and mostly cloudy in Milwaukee at 250. Now, there's an industry in Florida that's hunting for employees, Jessica. They're not exactly swamped with applicants, however.
Swamped.
The position does require a strong candidate, got to have thick skin. Also, not be afraid to grapple with some of the toughest opponents or take on a quagmire or two. Jack Shealy is the co-organizer of the Florida Alligator Festival. They want to see alligator wrestling return. He thought the turnout at Big Cypress National Preserve was a success.
There were a lot more of these things growing up as a kid. This is something my dad's really pursued bringing back. This is our second year. We're seeing a lot of great attendance, a lot of familiar faces.
And some repeat participants, including Paul Simmons, who cautions when wrestling an alligator.
Once you get bitten, and it's not a question of if, you're going to get bitten if you're a full-time alligator wrestler.
Well, full-time,
no
yes.
thanks.
I mean, it's going to happen at some point,
no,
right?
No, thank you.
You'd anticipate that would happen.
You have to stay with the basic rules. There are basic safety rules, just like in baseball or football or any other thing. There's always those basic steps, and if you skip them, you get hurt.
I'm still not sure how you train for such a thing because, in baseball, you get a youth program or something like that. You develop the basics, you learn, you grow within the program, you keep graduating levels. Not a lot of margin for error in this, somewhat similar to fire or sword swallowing. Wrestling an alligator, I don't know if there's a youth culture for that, but maybe there is because, well, it's Florida.
What this reminds me of a little bit. Remember when we interviewed one of the organizers for the Florida Man Games?
Yes.
It just made me pop on to their website because I thought, oh, this feels like this is right up their alley. And on that website today, it has defending champs, Hanky Spanky.
Okay.
Hanky Spanky.
Is that the name of an alligator or a participant?
That's the defending champs. I don't know if it's a team name or if it's one guy. You got a bunch of guys smiling. But yeah, defending champs, there's a picture of like 4 dudes. And the team name, Hanky Spanky. But yeah, those games were wild. You had evading arrest obstacle course. What else did you have? You had the hurricane party prep, grocery aisle rumble. That was a good one. Florida sumo cage match in the beer chug. We felt like that one could come up here.
The catalytic converter, 2 bikes, and a handful of copper pipes race against time is also a part of the competition with the Florida Man Games. Rest assured, if it's from Florida, it's going to be a little bit odd and maybe not on your radar. But yes, wrestling alligators, a big deal in Florida over the weekend. It might just be any weekend in Florida. Well, they don't have playoff baseball to worry about in Florida. Maybe that's part of the reason why they've moved on to these sorts of things. We do have playoff baseball to think about here today in Milwaukee. Coverage continues coming up with Wisconsin's afternoon news at 3 o'clock. Going to be a late one here. Get your dinner in, get all your errands run, get the kids back from practice and school, and settle in. Wave that rally towel like Jessica.
I'm going to do it until we close out here. Magic is brewing.
Settle in for Brewers baseball tonight. 8:08 the first pitch. So we do have a game time for Game 3. There will be a Game 3. Most assuredly, there will be a Game 3 regardless of what happens tonight. Game 3 scheduled for a 4:08 first pitch on Wednesday. That'll be in Chicago. That is not climate controlled. Temperatures looking like they would be somewhere in the 50s, maybe around game time at Wrigley Field for that game. You got to wait and see what happens here with games 4 and 5 because we don't know if there will be a game 4 and 5 of this series. Brewers could win this thing in 3. So more details to come on that as they become available.
You know who's going to love the relief tonight of having it be a little cooler? All of our mascots. The Brewers have so many, and I was thinking about them. I was thinking about Barrel Man. And look how hot they must have been on Saturday.
Are you starting to warm up after waving the rally towel in the studio? Do you have to go with your left hand now?
No, I'm actually doing good, okay?
Sticking with the right.
It's like Mizorowski's fastball.
There you go. Fly right by you. We'll have coverage of the Brewers and Cubs throughout the day here on WTMJ. First pitch scheduled for 8:08 tonight. If you're looking for the Bucks game, that's on 94.5 ESPN beginning at 6:30 as the Bucks begin the preseason. Brewers and Cubs tonight with Aaron Ashby on the mound. No updated lineup here. No update on Jackson Churio if he will play. Dealing with that hamstring strain. Brewers hopeful to have him on the field. If not today, then perhaps on Wednesday for Game 3 in Chicago. Out of time of the program. We are back again tomorrow. Wisconsin's afternoon news with Julia Fellow begins in just a few minutes here on WTMJ.
Go Brewers.
So, Alex, why don't you tell us about Lion's Tail?
We've been brewing for 10 years, and now we're busy expanding into Milwaukee, trying to get on every shelf of every store and on tap at every restaurant.
How has Horicon Bank been a part of your story?
Horicon Bank